right, I was muted! I was just like, yay, hi! I was muted. Also, guys, Nori's sitting in my lap right now. So if you hear his like little collar, it's because he wanted to sit with his mom. That's so embarrassing. Anyways, happy Thursday, guys. I hope everybody's doing well. Sorry, I was a little bit on, I think I took a little bit on the starting soon screen. I was like downing my lunch really quick. So. But I hope everybody's doing well today. Is this gonna be the last day of Subathon? Fingers crossed. It is the last day of Subathon. I only plan on streaming till like 3:30 Pacific? Yeah, 3:30 Pacific. Yep, so we'll see. Actually, if it ends before then, we can end stream early. I want to at least react to one video today. I actually have a ton of homework due tonight, so I'm just like, I need to go. I can't stream for too long, but I want to stream anyways. I woke up with like a tummy ache this morning and it hurt really bad, and I was just like, should I still stream? Should I still stream? And my tummy's still hurting, but it's all good. I'm new here on Twitch. Poseidon and I been fan of yours since day one. Thank you so much. Oh my god, 2 years? 2 years ago? 10 more years of subathon? Nah, man. Nah. No more. Let me out! Let me out! Oh my goodness. Yeah, we are now on day 22. 22. Any Overwatch streams next week? I probably won't be streaming Overwatch. I don't anticipate to be streaming Overwatch unless it's like a group collab. Because one, I'm ass at the game, and two, I don't know, it's one of those like games that I like to enjoy off stream. I find it hard whenever I play games like that where I'm so quiet and I'm focused, and I don't think it's entertaining for you guys. So I'd rather stream something else, if that makes sense. No, I'm not stuck here forever. Also, let me see if the thing on YouTube is too loud. I can lower down the music on YouTube, I think. We're not raising the timer today. How's that game still alive? They're releasing 5 new heroes next week, which is kind of insane. I think that's the first time they've done something like that. I mean, it's no longer Overwatch 2, it's just Overwatch again. So I'm just sitting here like, then why didn't you just like rebrand the whole game instead of making a separate game? But you know, who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? Yeah, but there's Jetpack Cat, there's this like really pretty lady, I think her name is Dominatrix. Oh my god. I'm down bad. I love women. Also, guys, it's Nico Robin's birthday today. It's Nico Robin's birthday today. My favorite character from One Piece. My Pookie's birthday today. I should have done like a special stream for her, but I didn't even know what we would have done. What would we have done for Nico Robin, my beloved? Happy birthday, Nico Robin. My Pookie. I love her. My girl. My girl. I don't watch One Piece, so don't care. Whoa, that's kind of mean. I thought Usopp was your favorite. No? Usopp? I don't know. I didn't like Usopp in my first, like, I guess, I want to say like 100 episodes. I didn't really like him. And then I think as time went on, Usopp grew on me, but he's not my favorite. He's not my favorite. I need to do like a Straw Hats tier list. I actually don't think there, I used to, okay, I like Sanji, but I have a friend of mine who kind of ruined Sanji for me, so I can't really like, I can't see Sanji the same anymore. Only watch it once they stop making episodes? Oh brother, that's not gonna be for a while. We are actually, I know people were joking that like the season 1 of One Piece is like over now, but I think we're having like just a few more arcs and it's done. Like we're on the tail end now of One Piece, which is crazy. Sanji's only got in the manga. In the anime, he's trash. Is he? I don't read manga. I just don't read manga in general. So whenever I do like One Piece reactions and people in the comments are like, "Oh my gosh, you need to read the manga," I'm just like, I don't read manga. I don't read manga. I kind of need to, but I would rather watch anime and just turn off my brain. I do enough reading as is. I play card games, okay? I play card games. Don't watch One Piece with happy birthday either way. We must protect Nico Robin. He must protect Nico Robin. The director hates him, so he makes Sanji a dumb character. Don't you all VTubers can't read? Stop making fun of them. True. Especially also TCG players. Guys, I played at One Piece Locals yesterday, or I played the last 2 days. And I did well. I think I got 4th on Tuesday, and then I got 3rd place yesterday. I threw one of my matches, and I was really mad about it. Do you play Magic? I don't. But I'm wanting to learn Commander sometime this year. But the main games I play are Pokemon and One Piece. Those are my main TCGs. Occasionally, I'll bring out the Vanguard, Cardfight Vanguard. I have a few Vanguard decks. So, but the One Piece and Pokemon, I think One Piece is my main game right now. That's the game I've been playing the most because I'm waiting for Pokemon to not get boring, which I don't think will be for a while. So, I also have some big tournaments I'm going to for One Piece coming up in the next few months. Oh, somebody was asking if I was going to be at Bandai Card Fest next week. See, I got in. I applied just to see if I would get in, and I would have decided like by last week if I wanted to go. And then I had ultimately decided that I would not be going, which is, I'm sad about it, but going to Vegas, especially on Valentine's Day weekend, is just absurdly expensive. So yeah, I had just opted not to go. I'm hoping to go to maybe an out-of-state one at some point. By out-of-state, I mean something that isn't in my state. Like, I have to travel, like fly. Which I would have flown to Vegas anyway, but Vegas is closer to the West Coast than like other BCFs or Bandai Card Fests. Over in the Galapagos Mar. That's crazy. Congrats to Mikey. Cardfest is on V-Day weekend. What moron decided that? I mean, it makes sense. I mean, a lot of people are going to be in Vegas for Valentine's Day. And I don't think it's a bad decision. But I think for me, financially, it doesn't make sense for me to go. As much as I would love to. I would love to go. I would love to go. I want to do more One Piece card game content this year. But I'm like debating whether or not I want to have a separate channel just for that. I don't know if I want a separate channel. Because I thought about it too. Like, what if I still did like TCG content, but I have it on a separate channel as opposed to having it on my main channel, which I think is more Pokemon. So I don't know. I'm kind of at some crossroads right now with how I want to deal with my YouTube stuff. My main YouTube, I think is still fucked right now with AdSense. So I have not been paid like on my YouTube channel. Like the money is there, it just hasn't been paid out. And which is why I've been telling like my viewers, if possible, please come support me on Twitch. Twitch and my second YouTube channel. The best way you can support me for free is to watch my videos on my second channel. Alex Jacobs, thank you for the 21 months of membership. That makes me very happy. Yippee. Also, I am trying to get caffeinated right now, so if I sound tired, I apologize. But yeah, yeah, I think my reacting like channel has been a little bit behind. I think we're pulling ahead though. We're slowly pulling ahead. What Warhammer videos are we watching today? We're gonna watch Bricky. I was told he makes the best videos. Everybody says he makes the best videos. And you know what? I believe them. I absolutely believe them. So, we're gonna watch Bricky today. Zaku Warrior, thank you for the Prime sub. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love Bricky. He's pretty awesome. He's pretty cool. Also, I've been overdue. I've been overdue with a Warhammer react for God knows how long. God knows how long I've been overdue. I think I've been saying that I was gonna react to his videos for like 6 months now. And then I just like kept getting pushed back because I was like, oh, I want to react to this. I want to react to this. So then today, I know I had put Pokemon on my schedule. I think I put reacting and I put Pokemon on it, but I'm like, I made my own schedule. I can change it. Oh, speaking of, by the way, chat, I'm canceling tomorrow's stream. Just to give you, I think I talked about last stream, but I have to bring Mother Rhea to the airport tomorrow, and I forgot that I was supposed to do that. So I'm gonna take her to the airport tomorrow, and I unfortunately will not be able to, I will not be able to, do all that, but it's okay. It's all good. Hi, Keyshawn. Make sure you watch the redone versions of his Warhammer videos. It's much more streamlined than the first one. Sick. Sick. Yeah, Mother Rhea, she's gonna be taking an overseas trip. And I'm gonna miss her. So, she's gonna be gone for like a month. I have to take her. I'm like, I forgot, Mother, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I scheduled a stream and I feel bad. I'm like, I forgot that I was supposed to take you. Okay, I'll cancel stream. I'm sure the shipwrecks will understand. Also, chat, let me see if I can get the graphic. You know, I should have been prepared, but I clearly wasn't, so. All right, Nori. I'm sorry, honey, but I'm gonna have to put you on the ground, okay? You can't sit on my lap anymore. You're hurting my thighs. Okay, hold up. Let me throw a little toy for Nori. Nori, look! Oh, wait, you destroyed the squeaker in this. Okay. Yippee! Okay, let me go get something really quick, because this is very important, chat. Where is it? Am I blind? Don't answer that. I have a special event this week! Special event this week! Let me raise the timer. We are not raising any timers. No timers will be raised today. Where is it? Oh, here we go. This is on Saturday, chat. This is on Saturday. In collaboration with VNU and Luminara, me and Roa Arctos are hosting a Pokemon Legends ZA VTuber charity event. So 8 VTubers will be participating in an event called Wild Zone Scramble, where basically they will have to run around, catch Pokemon from the Wild Zones, and battle it out. And the winner gets to choose what charity to donate to. So, yeah. So it'll be streamed on my Twitch channel. It won't be streamed on YouTube. If you want to watch on YouTube, please go to Roa's channel. I will probably be posting more details tomorrow. But please come support. It will be at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which should be, sorry, doing math, 10 a.m. Pacific time. So I will be streaming it on Twitch, and Roa will be streaming it on YouTube. So if you are a YouTube enjoyer, please go check out her stream on there. But it'll be a fun event. We have 8 wonderful VTubers joining us on Saturday for this awesome event. So yeah, I'm excited. We've been planning this for a while, so super duper happy to always do something with my beloved Roa Arctos. So yeah, for charity! Pokemon for charity! Anyways, I don't think I have too much to catch you guys up on the last few days. Oh, I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley. I have been ending my nights with just Stardew Valley. I've been laying in bed, playing on my Switch, and it's been a lot of fun. I love Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is a great game. I kind of wanted to see if I wanted to try Coral Island. Some people were telling me that's like just like Stardew Valley, but ocean themed. Ocean themed. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I don't know. Would you guys want cozy gaming? Because I also feel like that's boring. I also feel like cozy gaming might be boring for my chat. So I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do it. I don't want to bore you guys, which is why. What's the name of the fish in your hair? His name is Pablo. Cozy gaming is a vibe. I don't know, maybe I'll do members only streams. I need to do those. We were doing members only honeypot for a while. I don't know, I haven't touched honeypot in like a year. Have you seen the VTuber band Pyro? Pyro? I don't think I recall. I don't think it's boring. I hope not. I was actually surprised when I was playing Hytale. A lot of you guys were hanging out when I was playing Hytale, and I'm like, do you guys want to see more games like this? I have no idea. I don't know. Anywho, I think we are going to do full screen today. I think we are full screening it today, guys. I think we're gonna full screen this. I think that makes the most sense. Yeah, I'm gonna get bricked up today, chat. That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Bricked up on stream is crazy. Is it the re-explained one? Is it the re-explained? Holy moly, I did not realize this was a 2-hour video. Is it the one from 10 months ago? Chat, you guys are telling me to watch, or should I watch the one from 5 years ago? I don't know which one you guys just want. Okay, so there's re-explained and then there's explained. So I don't know which one. Because I was gonna watch the explained because it was less than an hour. But I don't know. I don't know which one is preferred. Yeah, the videos are long, which is why I was like, maybe we'll just do one today and see how it goes. His re-explained are longer, less humor, and more accurate. See, I like humor though. I don't mind the humor. I think humor is great. What do you mean by like more accurate? Like the information is more accurate? Is that kind of what I've been getting at? While you're busy, we shall be increasing the timer by another 2 days. No! More lore, less memes, but I want memes. Both are good. Both are great. But still peak. I see. Interesting. I don't know which one I would want to watch then. I don't know which one. Okay. I think I'm gonna watch the one from 5 years ago. One, it's like shorter. And two, if you guys are saying it's more funny to watch, then I'll watch that one, and then we will probably come around to watching the other one at some other point. How much time you want to invest? Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's reset this. Let me get this ready to go. All right. Are we chilling, gamers? Are we chilling now? Cause we're back with another reacting. This time, something brand new to me. Warhammer 40K. I think I've reacted to maybe one Warhammer video before, but I'll be honest, that was like 6 months ago, and I don't remember anything. My only exposure to Warhammer really is the fact that my local card game store that I play at does a lot of Warhammer. So I see their tables and they're huge and they have like these huge figurines and I always see them painting and stuff like that. So I think it's super cool. I was told it's a very expensive hobby and super duper lore heavy. Like the lore goes extremely deep. It's insane, supposedly. I was told playing like the tabletop game is like IRL Fire Emblem. I don't know how true that is, but it sounds fun. So we are going to be watching every single Warhammer 40K Faction Explained Part 1 by Bricky himself. Oh my goodness, I'm excited.
As someone who doesn't necessarily serve
Hold up. Let me pull up the volume.
the Omnissiah, but someone who can appreciate them, you will not be getting my legs today, as I will be replacing them with various things depending on which faction we are currently talking about to add a little
Do they not? Do each of these factions just have different sets of legs?
bit more context and possible comedy to whatever the hell I am currently
You guys think it's 10 times more expensive than TCGs? That's crazy.
doing. So, hello everybody, my name is Bricky, and this is going to be
Bricky.
a long video and a large project that has been going on for quite some time. This is, I need two hands for this. This is every single Warhammer 40K race in kind of a nutshell, explained,
In a nutshell.
a little bit of explanation, a little bit of lore, a little bit of talking about the tabletop, mostly lore, what they're all about, and
That's
also
awesome.
a little bit of background for those of you
Dude, if I ever got into Warhammer, oh my goodness, holy moly, then I would be allowing SUBATHON to keep going.
who just have no clue what Warhammer 40,000 is. Now you see, Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 is a universe people hear plenty of, but don't know a whole lot about. They say,
I don't
oh,
know
there's
much
these
about it
dudes
all,
in big
actually.
power armor with chainsaw swords, and they got these big old green orcs, and there's some bugs over there, and everyone calls these guys weebs, and then there's these spiky bitches over here, and I don't get it. I don't understand. Where do I start? Well, this video is particularly for you, or for those of you who have a little bit of knowledge, but you're kind of curious about each of the different races.
I don't know much outside of what I had said earlier, so this is the perfect video for me.
And factions in Warhammer. So overall, the Warhammer universe is vast when it comes to lore
I can imagine.
and
Holy shit.
background, and each different faction is so different with the things that they believe in, and some are human, some are transhuman, like where they all have all these crazy ass electronics on them. You've got
they're like
aliens, and
cyborgs.
You've got the chaos factions, and there's so
Oh
much
my
to
G,
entail.
ew! What is this? That's so gross.
That I decided to embark on this project to tell you what each and every single one of them is about, and what the Warhammer universe is about as well, to give at least a little bit of an intro
The Asmon. What?
to this extremely bloated but very enjoyable world that I and many others partake in. So,
Am I making a mistake reacting to this, by the way, chat? What if I get brainworms? Because every single time, you guys remember when I got into One Piece? I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And then I kept going, and now that's all I can think about. I'm like, One Piece, One Piece, One Piece. Is this going to be the same thing? I'm going to be like, Warhammer, Warhammer, Warhammer.
I will be explaining every
This is
single
dangerous,
faction
chat.
in the Warhammer 40K universe, at least all the factions you can play as, and some smaller factions here and there. I will not be discussing absolutely everything in it, because that is a little bit much, and I'm not going to go too mega deep into
Maybe
the
one
lore.
day.
I'm going to give you a pretty solid overview of each of the different factions, and have you learn a little
Awesome.
bit about them, and we'll discuss a little
Are these
bit.
all the different factions? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. 17?
Bit of the tabletop as well, in case you were curious about that. But for this
I am a
episode
little
entirely,
curious.
we are discussing the
There's way more. That's not even all of them.
of man, because that takes up a fat chunk of Warhammer lore. Oh, boo-hoo. What is Warhammer 40,000? Well, the 40,000 starts off is the year 40,000, the 41st millennium. That's where it takes place, is in the year 40,000, 41,000 AD. You're already more knowledgeable. Let me read you a quote. First of many quotes in this video.
There are sub-factions inside the factions. There are space bears. Wait, space bears are fucking sick.
It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 years, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and master of 1,000,000 worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass, writhing
Everybody talks
visibly
about the Emperor. Is he at least sexy? Is he at least hot?
With power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day so that he may never truly die. To be a man in such times is to be amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be relearned. Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim, dark future, there is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter and the laughter of thirsting gods. Everything blows. And it blows fucking hard. Warhammer.
You know, that's what people say about me. I blow really hard.
Warhammer is probably the most dark and depressing a day.
Uh-oh. Are we dead? Wait, are we dead? I think we died. Attempting to reconnect. No, wait! Patiently waiting. Patiently waiting. Patiently waiting. Patiently waiting. Are we back? We're so back. I forgot. I should probably change the category to Warhammer. Oh my god! Sorry. It was my blowing comment. I broke the stream. It was my blowing comment. My internet went, no, Sai, don't make comments like that. Instant ban. No! I leave for 1 second, the stream somehow dies. It's okay, we're alive now. That's what matters. That is what matters. Anyways, we're back.
To a rotting carcass of a man who you believe to be your god. Demonic gods and just demons tear open the fabric.
This is what some of the people at my TCG locals look like when they don't shower.
Reality on a whim. Other Xenos. Or
wait, low-key? He's kind of a baddie.
Humans end up killing each other in untold billions across the galaxy. It is a time of unending war, slaughter, and a bloodbath amongst everybody.
Everybody, even civilians?
Are deemed unrecoverable and are completely destroyed on a whim. Everything sucks. But that's like the charm of it. See, everything in Warhammer is evil. But being evil is kind of fun. Like, humanity, in its own right, is a xenophobic, prejudice, and religious zealot group that kill each other just as much as they kill all of their enemies.
That's insane.
And they're like mid to high tier evil on the evil scale of Warhammer.
Holy shit.
No matter who you are, everyone is some flavor, some color of evil. Whoever you pick.
So there's no good guys? Is that what I'm understanding? Literally every single race is just evil in different ways? Is that what I'm understanding here? Pretty much? I'm seeing yeses and nos. There are no good guys.
Going to be the bad guy. But that's the fun of it. Because being the bad guy is badass. Villains are cool.
I do.
They look cool. They got cool.
I love me a good enemy or villains to lovers trope, man. Good guys were so last season. Bad guys, damn.
Outfits, they got cool weapons, they got cool armies. Villains are cool, man. And when
They are!
everyone is a villain, everyone is pretty cool. That's what makes this so charming, is that everyone can be the bad guy. So let's start off talking about the main bad guy, quote unquote, the Imperium of Man.
It's hair, whack.
What?
Here, whack.
The Imperium of Man is the main empire of the human race. All of humanity is under this one flag called the Imperium. And about 10,000 years ago, there was a man. He was the emperor of mankind, a 10...
Oh, he low-key is hot. I don't know. What does he look like under all that armor?
Foot-tall psychic demigod who led humanity across the stars.
Is he single? Does he have a queen? Does he have a wife? That is my question.
Colonize tons and tons of worlds, create superhuman soldiers, and really bring humanity into a new age. This man, the Emperor of Mankind, was a psyker. And a psyker is like a magician of sorts. In the world of 40K, there is the warp, the immaterium, kind of like hell, but sort of like a purgatory dimension of hell. And a psyker is someone who can take that power and manifest it through their mind to use it to do stuff, like witchcraft.
Wait, that's actually kind of sick.
Stuff, magician stuff, spells, and lots of other things, but we don't want to get too into that. The Emperor, big boy psyker, top tier, A+, maybe even S. Now the Emperor created a bunch of
Wait, what's stopping him from being S tier?
sons? Yes, created a bunch of sons known as the Primarchs. He created 20.
So who birthed them?
18 Primarchs to have them lead
What about the other
of
two?
the different legions of humanity to the different stars and plans to help colonize and bring it out. These Primarchs are basically like little versions of the Emperor. Not all of them are psychers, but a lot of them are very, very powerful, and they lead his special Space Marine legions. Then this big clusterfuck happened called the Horus Heresy, where the Emperor's favorite son, the Primarch, Horus, ended up joining Chaos and leading 9 of the 18, half of his Primarchs directly to Earth to fight down the Emperor himself. Now, if you want to know what Chaos is, remember what I mentioned earlier, the warp, that immaterium, the hellish place? In there relies the 4 Chaos gods. Imagine like Satan and 3 other Satans.
That's
the warp
crazy.
being kind of evil, those Chaos gods, that's the reason. And so those Chaos
Wait, who's
gods
that baddie on the bottom
manipulated
right?
Horus, and then Horus helped manipulate all 8 other Primarchs to lead this giant coup directly on the Emperor on Earth. And they fucked up shit. After this huge civil war, Horus died, but not before brutal.
You don't want that? Wait, why not? Why can't I have that baddie? Wait, she's low-key hot. That's Slanesh? Slonish? What? Later. The worst demon ever? He/she/it is wild. Do they go by they, them? I will refer to them as they, them. They are very hot. Dragmire, thank you so much for the 2 months.
Brutally wounding the Emperor, and right at the end of his life, they put the Emperor on this large golden throne on Earth in which he is now alive.
Is this the Emperor now? He's like fucking ugly now. Dude, look at him. I don't want that no more. I don't want that.
But slowly rotting away, powering something called the Astronomicon, so long as he stays alive, and is fed 1,000 people a day. The Astronomicon
That's fucking
is like
horrible.
the North Star. If you want to do interstellar travel in 40K, you need to pass through that demonic warp I mentioned earlier. But how do you know where you're going? Well, the Emperor is there putting a nice little navigator right there. He helps navigate you to know where you're going. If you want to go from Earth to some crazy solar system across the way, you need to go through that warp and then you need to know
That's
where you're
scary.
going, go through there, and pop your way out. It's like doing
The
nether
nether?
travel in Minecraft, so you can
In
shorten the
Minecraft.
distance between going to areas. So long as the Emperor is alive and being fed 1,000 people a day to stay alive, you can do that. The moment he dies,
You're fucked.
interstellar travel's gone for all of humanity. You're so boned. Now, since the Horus Heresy 10,000 years ago, the Imperium has fallen from grace substantially. All technology has started to dwindle and die. There is now giant fundamental religious extremists that now believe the Emperor of Mankind was a deity, a true living god, which is probably the last thing the Emperor would have wanted to be remembered for. So now you have this thing called the Ecclesiarchy, which is this giant church entirely devoted to spreading the good word of the Emperor. He is now the
it's
holy
like a cult.
Emperor God.
Is it like a cult? I feel like I saw you with water boobs before. Waterfall boobs. Yeah, it was my 1.0 model. This is my new model. Sans, if he was a bad guy, I've never seen Undertale, so I wouldn't understand that joke. Crying.
God Emperor of mankind, and all of the Imperium has taken up worshiping him to the fullest extent and killing anything that isn't humanity in his name. The Imperium has this futuristic gothic tone to it and a hefty religious zealotry to them. If you think anything against the Emperor, that's heresy and you deserve to die. That is called being a heretic. Heretics die in 40K. There is no such thing as freedom of religion.
Fucked.
There is no such thing as freedom of speech so long as you are against the Emperor. There is no such thing as any kind of
Sounds like a horrible universe to live in. Holy shit.
tolerance. Everyone is a religious zealot. Some more than others, but no matter what, you're preaching that good word. So right now, everyone in humanity is trying to expand their empire across the stars. If you are a heretic, someone who doesn't believe in the Emperor, you are deserving of death. If you believe in the Chaos Gods,
If you don't
are
love our
also
emperor, you're dead.
a heretic, and you deserve death.
Yeah,
If
this
you
would probably be one of the last universes I would want to be isekai to.
are an alien race of any kind, you are a filthy Xenos and you deserve death as well. So long as the murder continues and humanity expands, the Imperium of Man is very, very happy. However, the largest fighting force of this Imperium is my personal favorite faction, and the first faction we will discuss, the Astra Militarum, or also known as the Imperial Guard.
Pretty shit now, man. You finished?
Are these the guys who are like,
The Imperial
they
Guard is the
protect the emperor?
main fighting force of the Imperium, and in a world of horrifying creatures, galactic monstrosities, the literal demons themselves breaking through the fabric of time to kill you, the Imperial Guard are untold billions of regular men and women wearing modern day like flak armor with a laser rifle. This is
they're
the
like the
humble
main
las gun.
military.
The main weapon of the Imperial
Meatwad.
Guard. It fires superheated plasma lasers at an extremely fast fire rate. It is reliable, never jams. It can blow off limbs, giant holes in concrete. It is overall a
This is nothing. My trident would absolutely bonk the shit out of these guys.
an extremely devastating weapon in modern day. It is one of the weakest in the 40K universe.
It's jokingly referred to as a flashlight. Oh my god.
Yeah, a laser rifle that never jams, it could blow off limbs, one of the weakest weapons. That's the world we're in right now. But who cares? Because the Imperial Guard has, in each battle, 500,000 of these men and women, 30,000 large armored tanks, 10,000 artillery batteries. The Imperial Guard wins through sheer numbers and firepower. They kind of have this World War I, World War II style aesthetic with legions of guardsmen as well as high company commanders and generals on the field along with them, and multiple kinds of troops. A normal Imperial Guard battle starts off with artillery, long lines of artillery, cracking the crust of the planet underneath the enemy's feet. And as this barrage continues, hundreds of thousands of guardsmen see a sea of guardsmen surges forward, firing and charging at everything possible while the planet rumbles as tanks roll up behind them. Gunships block out the sun and tanks block out the dirt with the steps and hoofprints of millions of guardsmen. It is through numbers and sheer sundering firepower. They are the first and last line of defense for the Imperium and make up a huge bulk of the battles. The Imperial Guard is also made up of tons of different kinds of regiments. The Catachin Jungle Fighters live in a death world that's more
oh, so these are like the sub-factions now.
Hospitable than almost any firefight they'll ever get into. So they just have this steroid-looking, giant knife, Rambo Predator-looking son.
Dude, they're kind of hot.
Bitches, where nothing is anywhere near as scary as a simple night on their home planet. You have the Valhallan Winter Soldiers who haven't felt their toes in 300 years, the Mordian Iron Guard who are more interested in making their shoes shine than actually fighting a battle, and then of course the big one, the Cadians.
Now, real question, what are the benefits and pay to be part of these armies? Do they get like good benefits, good health care? Do they, are these guys just like, I'm doing it for the passion. I'm doing this for the love of it. Your home gets good money.
Cadia.
You don't get paid. No!
The biggest export of guardsmen in the entirety of the Imperium.
Fair enough.
You will fire your first gun at 5. You will disassemble and reassemble it at 10. You will have pounding artillery drills day in and day out at 15. And you'll fight your first Swarm Lord at 16. And if you mention Cadia, you will burst into an unrelenting amount of tears and sadness like I do daily. To quote, I have at my command an entire battle group of the Imperial Guard. 50 regiments including specialized drop troops, stealthers, mechanized formations, armored companies, combat engineers, and mobile artillery. Over 500,000 fighting men and 30,000 tanks and artillery pieces are mine. The
average life expectancy of a guardsman is 16 hours? Oh my god. That's so short. That is so short.
Emperor, show mercy to the fool that stands against me, for I shall not. The Imperial Guard are my personal favorite
After
faction
recruitment,
in 40K.
Jesus Christ.
They're the army I collect the most, the ones I enjoy playing the most, and the one I enjoy in the lore sense a lot. There's something about just a regular man with a laser rifle being told to charge the horrors of this universe and willingly doing so for his God Emperor. It's just poetic. They actually represent the main Imperial Guard tactics pretty well. Large amounts of artillery that doesn't require a line of sight.
Oh my god, I've seen these before! I've seen these at my LGS!
Tons of it.
They do like a Warhammer class like every Wednesday. They do it like the same time I go to One Piece locals, so I think it's really cool. Sometimes I'm like, maybe I should join. Maybe I should, play some Warhammer, paint some models, just for the fun of it. And then I look at my wallet and I see how much they go for, and I'm like, you know what? Never mind.
Infantry, drop troops, and gunships. Overall, they're pretty similar to how they sound, though a little bit expensive to collect, unfortunately. And they don't hit a lot. They have a bit of a bad aim, but you don't really care because you're just drowning them in shots. However, if you want more accurate fire and specialization, we can move on to talk about Space Marines.
Oh, I've seen these guys!
The Angels of Death are up next. Space Marines are genetically engineered super soldiers and superhumans. They're given extra organs, their skin tissue is toughened, their bones are stronger, they're taller than the average person. They're pretty massive people, and these are the specialized super soldiers that carry out a lot of the more specific tasks for the Imperium. And there's tons of legions of them. In fact, there's one per Primarch. Each Primarch, the Emperor's son, as I mentioned before, oversees their legion of Space Marines. The genetic upgrade they get is based on the genes of said Primarch. It's something called a gene seed. That's what brings them up to this like superhuman level. As stated, each Primarch has their own legion. Robot Girly Man has the Ultramarines. Jagatai Khan has the White Scars. Rogel Dorn has the Imperial Fists. Corvus Corax has the Raven.
Oh, I'd fuck him.
Guard, and there's a whole bunch of other side sections that
I've
are also
seen these guys, they're
extremely
so
interesting
cool.
and have a little bit more of a twist on the average Space Marines, which we will discuss in a bit. Humorously enough, I don't have a whole lot to say
Not the
about
army of
Space
Chads.
Marines. They're superhumanly fast. In fact, it's been said that nothing that large should move that quick. These men in power armor moving at blazing fast speeds. Their reflexes are faster. Their skin is tougher. They are overall just extremely powerful soldiers.
They're not human.
In fact, where they differ comes down to which Space Marine Legion we're talking about. For instance, the Ultramarines.
Oh my god, here we go. We're going into the sub-factions now.
By Robot Girliman, Gilliman, are the main blue boys. Strong in almost every way, the jack of all trades kind of group that are a little bit too strong.
They're
and
buff
that's
Power
a lore
Rangers.
problem, but,
Facts.
The
They're
White Scars by
ultra-humans.
Jagatai Khan are all about speed, freaks, go fast. We're talking attack bikes, we're talking
Oh, so
land-
like Captain America. That's how I'm trying to like make sense of it. It's like Captain America, like the super serum, super soldier serum.
speeders, you want to go
I don't know. Is that similar?
quick, you want to hit them hard, you want them to be swarming around like
Yes, but
buzzflies.
evil. Oh, okay.
Buzz
That makes
saws.
sense.
With the speed of buzz saws.
Captain America times 20? That's crazy.
Fuck you, Pale King. Salamanders love fire.
Okay.
Fire in the forge, fire in battle. Flamers, melta-guns, multi-meltas. Just so long as
That's
something can
awesome.
be burning, that's big. And they're also actually some of the nicest of the Space Marines. A lot of
Chat,
Space Marines
question.
have this kind of like
What faction would I be in?
holier than thou
Put me in the sexiest one.
thing because of their genetic strength. However, the salamanders tend to put human lives above the lives of themselves, which is actually rather rare. They're also all black, but not like just regular black, like 2 a.m. line at a White Castle black. Like they have a charcoal, dark, ashy exterior and blazing red eyes. Apparently
That's
something about
scary.
living on their home planet of Nocturne, which
Those
I don't know
eyes?
if that makes much
Holy
sense,
moly.
but who cares? This is like fantasy land anyway. Overall, salamanders are
Anything
actually
is
my personal
possible
favorite legions
in the Warhammer universe.
because they're just really cool. They're fun to play as because of all their flamer weapons, and they have a nice, like, more heartwarming lore as opposed to being super evil like everyone else is. Oh my god, we're not even a quarter of the way through the Space Marine legions. Imperial
What?
Fists, weaving the power of the siege and defensive positions. Raven Guards, master of stealth and sabotage while having bird helmets. Iron Hands, masters of machines and vehicles while being really goddamn good at being sold on eBay after one nerf. Space Wolves, Vikings, and Wolves.
Is that a
tons of
tabletop
wolves.
joke? Did they get nerfed in the tabletop and people were like, it's like that one Toy Story meme where it's Andy letting go of Woody. He's like, I don't want you anymore.
And axes, battle axes, fur everywhere, space wolves, angry, big teeth, blood angels, the genetic defect to make them want to drink blood and go crazy called the red thirst. They have cupid wings and stuff, which is a little bit strange, and they are all super gay for Sanguinius. Dark angels are old school, nice,
I'm interested now.
an inner circle theme, and
What?
Are you a heretic?
Me? No, never. Once in a blue moon, I know.
Death Watch, a fancy pantsy anti-Xenos group that nobody plays because Death Watch look cool though, but no one plays them. I don't know about Death Watch. They're there though. Black Templars for the people who, if you haven't prayed at least 3 times a day, you're gonna start praying out that airlock. And I'm sure there's some other chapters I may have missed as well, like Crimson Fists and stuff. But those are the main ones right here. Here. Quote from the Emperor himself. They shall be my finest warriors, these men
yeah.
who give of themselves to me. Like clay
Yes.
I shall mold them, and in the furnace of war I shall forge them. They shall be of iron will and steely sinew. In great armor I shall clad them, and with the mightiest weapons shall they be armed. They will be untouched by plague or disease, no sickness shall blight them. They shall have
That
such
sounds
tactics,
awesome.
strategies, and machines that no foe will best them in battle. They are my bulwark against the terror. They are my defenders of humanity. They are my space marines, and they shall know no fear. And on the tabletop,
That's-
they fuck.
Fucking epic.
Oh, they
Oh
fuck.
yeah, no, I've seen a lot of these guys. They just sit on top of the Warhammer tables and I like want to touch them. And I'm just like, ooh, I want to take a look. And they're like, you can't touch them. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to take a look at your Space Marines.
Hard. As of making this video, Space Marines are laughably strong. That might change at some point, but overall, Space Marines just have it's like a Swiss Army knife, a tool for anything you need, except it's like a gold-plated Swiss Army knife. It is extremely strong. If you are actually getting into the tabletop of Warhammer, Space Marines are a great start. Also, whatever gameplay style you have, whether you want to be sit back with long range and heavy weaponry, go fast and run in, or even just full melee, all of these options are totally there for you. Space Marines are super badass, but unfortunately, it's time we start praying to our new god, the 2011 Honda Civic.
So is it any wonder people are afraid
Hey, I drive a Honda Civic. I can't tell if he was trying to dog on Honda Civics. I love my Honda Civic.
of technology?
Technology! The Adeptus Mechanicus. The Adeptus Mechanicus are a technophile cult on Mars. Now, these people are a little bit weird because they don't actually really believe in the Emperor of Mankind. And you might think, oh, whoa, Berkey, that sounds like some heresy. A little bit. They believe in the Emperor, they believe in his power, but they don't pray to him. They pray to something called the Omnissiah. And the Omnissiah is this kind of machine god that they believe permeates in all machines. And if you think, well, wait a minute, they believe in a different god as well? That sounds like super heresy. Well, yes-ish, but they also make all your guns, and they make all your tanks, and they make everything that you have.
Oh, so you don't want to piss these guys off then? Hi, Midnight Castle. We love cyborgs. What if I told you I was a cyborg?
Can't really tell them to fuck off because you're not gonna win nothing if you don't got stuff to shoot people with. See, their Omnissiah at least makes sense from their standpoint. They believe it to be a deity that permeates through all machines. Your Honda Civic, your standard bolt gun, your Dune Strider Walker, your giant mechs, your huge ships. The Omnissiah is present through all. And the only reason your stuff works is
what if I was a
because
cyborg? Beep, boop, bop. My name is Poseidon from VTuber Talent Agency Mythos. I really like trading card games.
Spirit in it says it works. If you want your gun to work, your tank to run, you must pray to it. And I mean full stop. You need to start chanting in
I'm like on my knees, like, please, gun! Please, shoot today! I'm begging!
Gothic, you need to burn incense. You need to sit on your knees and pray to that car. You need to rub oil on your robes.
Oiled up? Oiled up in Warhammer is crazy!
Full stop. If you want your damn thing to work, if you want your gun to fire, you need to do that. They are very bizarre. And
oh my god. Maybe I do need to start praying to my car whenever I like get in. I'm like, please, today I need you to work. Please don't stop in the middle of the road. Please don't stop in the middle of the freeway.
They actually have a bit of a point because it's obviously working. And if you look at them, I don't know how that works. So they obviously know something about what they're doing. The most notable member of the Adeptus Mechanicus is Archmagos, whatever, Belisarius Call. Look at this dude.
Jesus, I could never remember that name.
Yeah. This is the group we're talking about. These are these weirdos. Here, the Omnissian Creed. The credo, Omnissiah. There is no truth in flesh, only betrayal. There is no strength in flesh, only weakness. There is no constancy in flesh, only decay. There is no certainty in flesh, but death. Flesh is weakness, flesh is death. The Omnissiah is the god of the machines, and if you wish to be whole, if you wish to be holy, if you wish to give unto him, you must saw down your limbs and remove your organs and replace them with mechanical.
What the fuck? I don't want to be a part of this faction.
Parts, because that is what he wants, and that is how you will become enlightened. Hard technophiles mixed with religious extremism. Dectus Mechanicus. Now for their army side of things, they are with the Scutari. The Scutari operate with very bizarre weaponry and lots of different kinds of vehicles, tanks, and different people in between. They're very weird, but they have extremely wacky and enjoyable, and in fact quite effective both in the real game and in the lore, weaponry and gear. Overall, as an army on the tabletop, they're very weird and have a whole bunch of different shenanigans, but if you like kind of that quirky, wacky techno thing, I'd give them a pickup.
I'm not into that.
They're so paranoid. I gotta keep going. They're so paranoid and crazy. These Dune Striders you see right here, one guy was able to make them work. One guy, and he died.
That's crazy.
And they're so scared they'll never work again that they keep them on and they never turn them off, and they run around in a circle the whole time until they need them, and then they corral it and they go into battle. Yep. The Adeptus Mechanicus. Now, if
I don't know if I like that.
you want to talk about faith, though, let's talk about the Sisters of Battle.
A simp has fallen for an eagle in Lego
Women!
The Sisters of Battle of the
Oh, she's hot.
Adeptus Sororitas, if that's how I pronounce it correctly, is an all-female group of battle sisters going through the ecclesiarchy section of the Imperium. The ecclesiarchy is, of course, the church. This is, imagine a private army of the church.
Oh.
Which is scary, and it is.
Is this what they do? That's fucking scary.
The sisters are an extremely zealotous force, and they take this to a full extreme. They believe in three main things: faith, martyrdom, and fire. Through the bolter, the flamer, and the melta, the Sisters of Battle are extremely potent at taking out chaos and heretics. Mainly heretics,
nuns
because
with
as they are a
guns.
fighting section of the ecclesiarchy church, that's the big thing they want to kill. Any form of heretic will face the Emperor's justice through those three main weapons: the bolter, the flamer, and the melta, and they will do so with extreme prejudice. Literally. They are the closest things we have to nuns in space, and I'm talking hardcore nuns. They carry holy fire on their backs. They have holy books and sigils all across their armor. Their main battle tank is a fucking pipe organ missile launcher. They have small
awesome.
babies that they have removed their brain capacity to make them little servant cherubs to fly around and give them ammunition and shit. They
I don't know if I like
drop churches from low orbit as
they just drop buildings? Is that what I'm understanding? They're just dropping buildings?
mini drop pods onto battles. They drop churches into battles, and they blare war hymns and holy music from their frigates in low atmosphere and shower holy water across the battlefield.
I can't take this seriously. This is so funny.
These are the people you are dealing with, and they're fucking awesome.
That is awesome.
Stave off demons.
What the
on
fuck?
the tabletop, because their faith is that strong. Remember the warp, the demons from the warp? Well, the warp also manifests in your mind. All of your emotions, negative and positive, go through the warp. It's the immaterium, the place of all things.
Hail the warp.
So if you are that mentally fortified, that mentally strong, you can stave off horrifying demons. And all these girls, oh, not a crack. Not a crack in that mental armor. Now, as much as a meme as they are, and as much as their models look a lot like Ongo Gabloglian,
What?
which I can't unsee anymore, I gotta say, I love their design. I think they are
pretty
extremely
sick.
cool. They're another army that I'm currently collecting. They just released a whole new line of figures very recently, and they look
Okay,
wonderful.
question to those who play like Warhammer and like collect it all. Where do you put it? Because I can imagine like storing cards for trading card games. I can put them in a like nice cardboard box, you know, organizers. They're all figures. Where do you put them? Do people have like Warhammer like rooms in their homes? I'm talking like if you're a hardcore collector. Shelves, duh, but like what if you run out of room? I feel like there's these are so cool. There's so many figures. Fun fact, the Sisters of Battle swear no oath of celibacy, so they can smash if they so choose. Yes! I want to be a part of the Sisters of Battle. There are storage cases. People have rooms. Those are sick. A closet dedicated to just Warhammer 40k. Oh my god. That is pretty banger, I'm not gonna lie.
Everything from Celestine, the living, literally undying saint, from the triumph of Saint Catherine, which is literally a funeral procession as a model. Those organ tanks I mentioned earlier. This shit is the most over-the-top badass.
Killjoy, thank you so much for the 2 years. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Is it over the top? But Sisters of Battle are so cool. While I'm a guardsman at
I
heart,
want the Sisters of Battle.
This is such a
I
cool...
want these. I don't know how to play Warhammer 40k, but I low-key want these.
faction. By Bolter Shell, Flamer Burst, and Melta Blast, the mutant, the heretic, and the traitor alike are cleansed of their sin of existence. So it has been for 5 millennia, so shall it be until the end of time. And speaking
Mic drop.
of burning demons,
I can see.
the Grey Knights are the first army I actually collected back in 7th edition.
Oh.
The Grey Knights are a super secretive and much more old school look at power armored knights, except they are all psychers. All of them have that crazy space
So they have like the same power as the Emperor.
magic magician shit. For every 100,000 guardsmen, there's 1 Grey Knight. For every 10,000 Sisters of Battle, there's 1 Grey Knight. For every 1,000 Space Marines, there's 1 Grey Knight. Grey Knights are the strongest of the strong, both in mental will and absolute just strength. These are Space Marines that are all high-level psychers. All of them.
Is this like one of the strongest races then in Warhammer? Is that what I'm understanding?
Able to specifically do one goal, and that is kill demons. The Emperor believed that the demons of chaos were the number one threat to the Imperium, and he probably is right. However, this group is entirely based on doing that through a myriad of tactics. Coming from the planet, or I guess the moon of Titan in the Sol system, the Grey Knights are thrown through extremely rigorous training and are as clear of mind and soul as they possibly can be. Since the demons of the warp are the warp, and your mind
race, they are human. Oh, I see.
To the warp,
top 3,
people
maybe
can go
top
insane
4?
very fast, especially lower level psychers. These Grey Knights need to be able to harness the warp in the presence of demons and stay.
But can they drop churches? I don't think they can. Therefore, they're not as cool as the Sisters of Battle.
Perfectly same. One of their characters, one of my favorite characters, is named Castellan Crow. He has a demon blade, the black blade of Mahamahama, and he has to have it on him because it tempts everyone nearby, constantly beckoning them. Use my power, use my strength, suck my penis, whatever the
He wouldn't need to use that on me. If he had just asked, I would have done it.
possibility, and so he has to keep it on him all the time as this thing whispers to him consistently, and he has to stave it off forever, being alone in his chambers or on the battlefield, because anyone who gets too close to it might be tempted a little too hard. He is that pure of heart and mind, and all the characters in the Grey Knights are basically like that. The only issue is that Grey Knights have a scorched earth policy.
You know, I have a hard time believing that they're so pure in heart and mind. There's no way they're not like jorking it, all right?
You know, more ways than one. If they're fighting demons, demons corrupt and make people crazy. So if I'm a guardsman and I'm fighting demons and the Grey Knights
interspecies reviewers is fucking insane.
arrive and they kill all the demons, I'm a risk. And so guess who's not making it out of there? On the tabletop, they're very strike fast, strike hard kind of people. They teleport all around the place. They are fast strike groups, small amounts of models because they're so dang strong. You only have so many characters, but with it, you get in there, you're very tough, very tanky, you hit really hard, and you try to bounce around the battlefield quickly, but you don't have numbers, and so every dead Grey Knight hits really damn hard. They're fun, though, if you like that kind of fast-striking kind of army. Oh, and also, Kaldor Drago is a thing. We're not even going to get into Kaldor Drago. All right, that is, oh my goodness gracious. I am the hammer. I am the mail about his fist. I am the spear in his hand. Though we are lost, I am the shield on his arm. I am the flight of his arrows. I am the hammer. I am the sword. I am the shield. I am a soldier at the battle at the end of time. Grey Knights are pretty hardcore. They are as holy as you can get for a Space Marine. If you like Space Marines and you want to, you don't think they're holy enough, you want to be holier? Grey Knights. Now, if you want to be holier and big, let's talk Imperial Knights.
Yo.
Do you like gigantic walkers the size of homes or medium-sized buildings? Do you want to kill heretics, but you want to kill like 40 of them per turn? Do you want a gigantic old-school knight noble house style of walkers with giant chainsaw arms? Then you got Imperial Knights. Imperial Knights, it's not a whole lot to talk about them because they're just gigantic walkers, but they have this old school like house feel to them, like literally like they're houses. Each Imperial Knight comes from a house, and each of them act in their own special way. These behemoth of walkers also destroy almost everything in their path, killing full swaths of squads in a couple shots.
That is horrifying. I don't think I would want to run into these guys. Yeah, they're not dropping churches, they're dropping castles.
Legions of troops, like these things do not mess around. And they look so
scared.
Cool. Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights, actually, for that matter, don't have a whole lot to discuss. They're just super big, heavy walkers, and they look different depending on your house or chaos god you currently believe in. And overall, these things are just really cool if you want to murder everything in your path. They're the big, scary, big unit of Warhammer, and if you want to collect them, go to town. They make for a great painting project, too. Getting more back down to earth, let's talk something about a little bit different, a little more gold. If guardsmen are regular soldiers, Space Marines are super soldiers, Grey Knights are super soldiers, the Adeptus Custodes are super soldiers cubed. The Adeptus Custodes are the third major army I own. I know, 3 armies. I know, I got carried away, okay? But that's all. I only have 3, okay?
Only 3? So when you play the tabletop, you can only have one type of army, right? You can't like mix factions together. Actually, I can imagine. I feel like that's a stupid question. I don't think you can do that. Unless somebody can correct me. This is Henry Cavill's army. The protectors of the Emperor. You sorta can? Unless you're human, no. Rare cases. I see.
They are our final brand of Space Marines, but these ones are super special, okay? If a guardsman is 6 foot, a Space Marine is 7 feet, a custodian is 8 feet. These are the giant defenders of Holy Terra, which is also Earth. Earth is Terra, Terra, themselves. These are the people that literally guard the Emperor's throne room, hence custodies. These boys protect the Emperor's throne room at all times and are literally like handcrafted people. They're not humans brought up by a gene seer or something. These are all handcrafted super soldiers. I think from a tube.
That is horrifying.
These behemoth of men are like 8 feet, 8.5 feet tall and functionally immortal. They stand still.
Do they just not die?
In hand for hundreds of years without the need to sleep and barely even the need to eat, watching over the throne room and every other area of Holy Terra for their entire purpose in life. And oh my lord, are they terrifying. These custodians put Space Marines to shame. If you liked your super soldiers, these are your super mega soldiers. One of these men can take on probably 3 Space Marines and most likely win. There are many different groups of custodians as well, like the Solar Watch, or there's also one of my personal favorite, the Aquila Shield. The Aquila Shield go out to seemingly unimportant individuals and protect them because they believe that they are going to be doing something very important in their lives. For instance, let's say a regular
I appreciate you,
guardsman
Pablo.
gets
Thank
the
you.
protection of this giant 8.5-foot tall golden god because that guardsman will end up becoming a general one day or something of that nature. The custodians work in mysterious ways and are almost always outnumbered but never outmatched. These people are pretty horrifying, both on the tabletop as well as in the lore. There are very few of them, however, and there's actually an extremely small amount of them, but that's kind of the point. There's only so many of these people that can have war gear this strong, weapons this powerful, and training this good. And the custodians have all three of it.
That
For 100
is
years,
crazy. Are they meta in the TTRPG?
I stood my
They're an
watch
absolute pain to fight on the tabletop. Oh my goodness.
amidst the somber shadows of the Sanctum Imperialis. I was still as a statue, but always ready, always attuned to dangers unseen. Days, months, years passed by in a frenzied blur beyond those walls, yet within, little moved and nothing changed. For 100 years, I did not but wait, yet had any threat appeared, I would have struck it down in a heartbeat. For 100 years, I stood my watch, and as it ends, I can tell you this: patience is a weapon. The custodians are the top dogs of the Imperium, and they hurt just that same way. Though I do want to discuss a little bit about the Sisters of Silence before we get out of here, because the Sisters of Silence I also have a few of, and they're really fun,
Holy.
but they don't get enough attention. These kind of bald, plume
Kind of
ladies
bald? Yeah, they're
are
like
a
half
whole
bald,
group
but they're
of
pretty sick.
Pariahs are also known as blanks. We'll be referring to them as blanks from now on. So as every mind is somewhat connected to the warp, these blanks are a genetic mutation that has it suppressed heavily. Because of that mind suppression, normal people feel this weird, like, uncomfortable nature when around them. When a Sister of Silence walks past them, you feel ill. You feel just uncomfortable and strange. So most of them don't actually live past childhood, because once they are birthed, they're, well, you know, killed or something at a very young age because
What? What did they do wrong?
they just emit a
They give you the
horrifying
ick.
aura. These ladies,
I must
however,
return
are
to
guardians
work,
of the
y'all. If y'all
throne
can
as
add
well.
an hour to the timer, I'll be back in time to fix it. No! Let me out of this subathon, please! Let me out!
For more psychic threats. See, none of the custodians are psychers, so they have a difficult time dealing with major demons and other kinds of psychic phenomena.
They
These
existed.
sisters are extremely specialized.
It's like that that Frankie line from Water 7 where it's like, it's not a crime to exist.
And all of them
I'm not
taking a vow
trapped
of
in here.
silence as they don't
You
speak,
guys,
hence the
you
term
guys
such as
can't make me stay in this subathon for much longer.
silence, but they communicate through hand gestures and things of that nature. But if there's a demon issue, if there's any kind of warp-based problem, the sisters are extremely adept at dealing with them, thanks to their blank gene.
Wanna bet?
They normally
I
work
do.
a lot of time with the custodians because they have to deal with both kinds of threats.
Please stop it! Frosty Gators, thank you for the 5, and Campix, thank you for the 10.
But they're not represented that way on the tabletop. In fact, they
Instant
only have
hype
like
train,
one
oh my
real model
goodness.
for them, which is very
Oh my god. I'm here for 2 more hours and 14 minutes.
unfortunate. I hope they'll get some like news soon because I think they should really be working together as it is that way in the lore. But hopefully we'll get there soon. But if we're talking about blanks, let's talk assassins.
Oh! Wait! Is that
been a-
Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters?
On video, we're about to round it out. We got this
Wanna make
and
it 2 more
one
hours,
human
Sai?
thing, and
No,
then we're done.
no,
the
no,
assassins,
no,
though,
no,
the
no,
Officio
no.
Assassinorum. Oh boy, these people are deadly. Yeah, they're called assassins. They should be, but oh man, these people will mess you up. So these are from the Officio Assassinorum, a very special organization. and they are
Thank you for the 2 months Prime sub. Check your Prime subs, everyone. Don't check them.
handpicked by the Grand Master of the Officio Assassinorum.
Thank you, guys.
From the
but why?
what was
But
it called?
why?
Scola Progenium. It's basically an orphan school.
What?
Your parents got murdered by demons or something. You get sent to this and you get trained.
I would imagine there's a lot of parents getting murdered by demons in this universe.
Be whatever. Tempestus Drop Troop, an Inquisitor, maybe even. Maybe you get a blank gene and you get thrown into the Sisters of Silence, or sometimes you just disappear. When you are taken, however, you go to one of 4 temples because the Assassinorum works in the temple style of things.
So they get like sorted. Killjoy, thank you for the 100 bits. Sigh. If Ricky ever does a video on Space Marine chapter called the Caradons, I highly recommend it. Their leader is such a unit. He has been mistaken for a giant statue and sometimes mistaken for a Primarch. Oh. If everyone gives 1 sub, we'll get another hour. No. Came from YouTube from Aries. Please enjoy. I elaborate on the lore tool. Thank you so much.
These temples
I love
are
Aries.
the Vindicare,
She's my
Caluxus,
Pookie.
Calidus, and Eversor temples. Let's start with the Vindicare. I'm far away. I've been sitting here for 3 weeks. Poof! The Vindicare temple is the main sniper-based temple. Gigantic sniper rifles for all these assassins. Their whole point is to be able to be in a spot and sit there, eye and scope, for weeks, waiting for their perfect target, taking people out from literal miles away.
That
after
is
extremely
insane.
long time periods. The Vindicare temple is about precise, perfect aim. There
What
have
if
been
you need to pee?
reports of Vindicares being able to single out particular body parts from over 2-3 miles away. Temples in the head, the jugular, for instance, and been sitting there after weeks. And when they're ready, take that shot.
You just pee your pants?
Time is done. Packs them up. The Calidus temple, however, is a lot more about shape-shifting
She's baddie.
and
She's a
deviant
baddie.
art. It's mostly a female
TF2 sniper got piss jars. Do you get like a jar and or those like pee bags? You just attach it and you just go.
based one, or at least it seems to be, and this allows a lot of body augmentation for certain individuals to be able to kind of transmorph themselves and infiltrate areas that are problems. These assassins will end up taking missions that take them years, 2-3 years, to infiltrate
That's a long
heretical
time.
group and slowly work their way up just to get enough time to put a bullet into the main target's head and then escape unharmed.
They're dedicated. I'll give them that.
Or become the main target and sabotage it from within. These are all completely about deception, mind tricks, polymorphing, and everything in between. And lots of
manipulation.
Lots of drawings. The Eversor
Anonymous, thank you for the 5 gifted. Get me out of here, please, guys. Thank you for the 5.
temple. Just kind of disturbing.
Basically, Mystique from X-Men. True.
The Eversor Temple is about when you don't want anything to come back alive, friend or foe. You want it all dead. An Eversor is psychogenically conditioned with just psychotherapy and psychological torture to only feel violence, hatred, and anger. It does the Clockwork Orange style of thing of just making you forced to watch never-ending pain and misery and psycho conditioning, I guess is the term. And then they pump you full of tons of psychedelic drugs and they cryo-freeze you. And then they drop you in an area where they just want to make sure everything is dead. And then you defrost, full of just all this insane, mind-boggling psychotherapy and psychedelic drugs, and you just go to town. Yeah, if you don't care if anyone comes back alive. You're like, all right, lost cause, send them in. Finally, there's the most bizarre temple, the Caluxus Temple. The Caluxus assassins are feared even among the other temples. So that blank gene, the people will go to the Caluxus Temple with this as well. And this is where they can harness that to be massively anti-psyker or even just anti-regular people. They're seen with extreme fear.
They're scary, holy shit.
Distrust among many, many people.
Anonymous, thank you for the
one.
one.
By quote, as being pure
wow,
evil.
we're level 6 hype train now.
Imagine that uncomfortable
By
feeling
40K standards, that is pretty tame. Is it?
from that blank gene I mentioned. And
Yes.
then imagine them being taught and given equipment to amplify it by 100. If normally regular people feel uncomfortable, now they are basically akin to being a siren wailing directly in your ear. And if you're a
I don't
psyker,
like that.
oh no, the sheer presence of a Caluxus assassin is enough for you to tear your skin off. You will rather gouge your eyes out and rip your nails off than even being near this person. The Caluxus assassin is when you want psychers to literally lose.
You know, I think I'd win. Chat, I think if I were to fight them, I would win. Trust.
Their minds, and they will go on their knees and ask you to gun them down because it is a suitable choice over being anywhere near you. The motto of that temple is, that which is unknown and unseen commands the greatest fear. Now for the tabletop, assassins aren't that special. You can call them in no matter what Imperium faction you are, and they do a lot of work for themselves, but at the same time, they're very specialized and require a lot of
I can neither confirm nor deny if I am a psyker.
finesse. And they work the way you generally want them to, though. You want to cause some distortion and weird stuff, you take a Calidus. You want to just murder swaths of infantry and then blow up Eversor. You want to kill that one guy, Vindicator, and if you have a lot of Psychers, Caluxus. It's a nice little, like, jack of all trades if you have a specific thing you want to kill. And you get to choose which is really fun. But now, let's talk about the last human faction. We can round this video out before we do part 2, the Inquisition. And we have a lot to talk
I've heard of these guys.
about with them.
Well, on the subject of heresy.
Oh boy. Where do I even begin with the Inquisition?
He's like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Take every secret police you can think of. The KGB, the Gestapo, the CIA, FBI, any of these kinds of people. And then mark it up by about 10 and give them the most power in the entire Imperium. No, you know what?
Can I get promoted to this or am I born into it?
How about this? This right here, it's not just a quote. This is the Imperial motto, the motto of the Inquisition. I apologize for my bad pronunciation. Innocentia nihil probat. Innocence proves nothing.
That's a scary ass fucking sentence.
The most powerful organization in the Imperium, the secret police, their number one motto is innocence proves nothing. The Inquisition goes around like the secret police or like detectives to find issues in the Imperium. And they have different ordos depending on which one we're talking about. The Ordo Hereticus, the Ordo Xenos, the Ordo Malleus, for instance, and a whole bunch of other ones. Hereticus is obvious, they deal with heretics. Xenos tries to find alien threats, and Malleus is demons. They all have different specializations in what they're trying to go for as this Inquisitor. And that's what they're called, Inquisitors. Each of them, as an Inquisitor, has their own free reign to do as they wish. They may have a ship and a crew, and they go out to find problems and interrogate people a lot. They are above the law in every department over Space Marines. Now, the Space Marines might argue
so you really don't want to mess with these guys.
you against them and stuff, and there might be a lot of blowback, but technically they are above them as Inquisitors. They are looking to investigate and figure out coups and cults and demonic incursions and possible Xenos issues like gene stealers or a new threat coming into an area. They're about learning that stuff and actually doing detective work. And memes aside, they're pretty good at it. The Inquisition having all of this power does make them a little bit power hungry and frantic sometimes. And yes, it is still a bad thing, but most of them are pretty good at their job. And they spend a lot of time being very diligent to make sure that all of these leads they follow are proper and correct. They're basically space detectives with
Remember, Space Marines are treated as the God Emperor's angels. So the Inquisitors are just above that. That's insane.
Enormous power and sometimes a bit of a power complex. And we haven't even talked about Exterminatus yet. Exterminatus
What?
Exterminatus is deeming a planet unfit
Guys, thank you for
to
the
be
level
safe.
6 hive
I
train.
deem that this planet is demon infested and taking it back will cost too many resources and is not worth it. I have now committed exterminatus on this planet. I will now sign the death warrant of an entire Imperium planet as it is unfit
Oh my
to
God.
take and better to be destroyed than allow the enemy to hold it. This can mean saturation bombardment. This can mean cracking the planet's core and breaking it apart. Doesn't
That's
matter.
extreme.
Render this planet inhospitable to all life. Yes, the innocence proves nothing people are the only people who can choose this planet must die in its entirety. Yeah, you're playing the villain. Now it is memeing a lot, but most Inquisitors are very rare to do Exterminatus.
That's
Exterminatus is a
fucking
very
insane.
crazy thing. There's only so many worlds that you don't want to destroy all of them. Now naturally, with the memes aside, there are some people who are a little bit rough on this one. But most Inquisitors generally don't like to do Exterminatus a ton, but it is an option they have. And it's a crazy option when you think about it. Secret Police Inquisition are unfortunately not represented on the tabletop very much. You generally kind of put one in your army if you feel like it. You have a couple special options there and some side content, but they're not really fleshed out very well, and personally they need a lot more stuff put in there, and they really need a lot more effort put into them, and they're not quite where I want them to be. Overall,
That's
the
fair.
Inquisition makes for a lot of the best storytelling as well, because it's a little bit hard to talk about a big story of a whole bunch of Space Marines killing something, right? It's just a big battle story. It's not as interesting. Having that intrigue and that moral dilemma
Damn.
that an Inquisitor...
You know what? This makes me think, who the fuck invented Warhammer? Like, there had to have, like, the creator had to have sat down and for years having to make this lore. Like, that's crazy to me. Somebody out there invented this. You know what? Shout out to that guy. The British invented Warhammer? I did not know that. I did not know that. A bunch of British nerds. You know, shout out to the British.
makes for a lot better media. And honestly, the more people do it, I think it's better, because then it adds a little more humanity to the Warhammer horrible, horrible grim darkness. And wow, we just finished the humans, all right? Come back for
Just
part
the
2 when we
humans!
talk about Chaos and Xenos, because we got to talk about the 4 Chaos Gods and all the Chaos Marine Legions and the Tau and the Necrons and the Orcs, and oh boy, we got a lot. I'll see you in part 2.
My jaw is dropped. There are hundreds. I was like, wow, there's like 17 factions when he showed them. And I'm like, what do you mean there's hundreds? What do you mean by that? I don't know. Sisters of Battle, low key. I think that's my faction, chat. I think I am a part of the Sisters of Battle. I want to drop churches on people. I want to pray. I do like the nuns with guns. Oh my god, why can't I hear myself? Okay, here we go. Sorry. I like the nuns with gun. His Space Marine Legion videos is also really good. Dropping castles is better. For real. Dropping castles is what's in right now. Don't you guys get it? That is what's popular. All the mayor faction have sub-faction and sub-sub-faction. There's factions and then sub-factions and then sub-sub-factions and then there's sub-sub-sub-factions. And in those factions, there's sub-sub-sub-sub-factions. Warhammer 40k, everybody. Wait, that was low-key fun. I think Bricky made this very fun to watch. Is this the part 2? Oh my god, it's the part. Do we watch the part 2, chat? Should we watch the part 2? Should we watch the part 2? He's a fun dude. Hell yeah. Okay, let's watch the part 2. And we are watching every single Warhammer 40k Faction Explained Part 2. I'm assuming this is not humans this time. This is gonna be another group of races, if I'm referring to it correctly. Anyways, let's just jump right into it.
Hey all, this is part 2 in a 2-part series on the Warhammer races. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, we do the Imperium of Man. You can check that out in the description, and I would highly recommend you watch that to get context for this episode. If you already have, go ahead and keep on watching. So after an entire episode of nothing but humans, we can now talk about chaos, which involves humans again, but a little bit less. We also got demons and shit.
I just felt someone grab my ass.
What?
Like hard, Nick.
So, as I've mentioned many
What?
times before, we've discussed the warp, the immaterium, the hellish landscape, the purgatory dimension realm between the material realm of our existence. Now, in the warp, it's terrifying, horrible, there are demons everywhere, things are crazy.
Can we kiss inside the warp? Chat, what if we kissed inside the warp? Would you want to kiss inside the warp?
All your minds and thoughts and emotions get projected there. It is both formless and empty. It is vast and tiny. It obeys the laws of time and physics while simultaneously does absolutely
what
nothing
happens in the warp stays in the warp.
of the sort. It is a hodgepodge and a culmination of just unknowable eldritch.
Can we goon in the warp? Can we goon in the warp, chat? Can we goon in the warp?
Horrifying shit. And there are 4 gods that permeate in chaos and the warp. These are the 4 major chaos gods. And if we wish to learn about chaos, we need to learn about
This is what you guys were referring to, the they, them, she, it, he, God. They just morph into stuff.
About each and every single one of these chaos gods. First up, we have Khorne, and he is the easiest. Khorne is your classic.
Why are we referring it to that thing? Is it not like a living thing? I'm so confused.
Satan. He is
Don't fall for it.
all about anger, murder, fighting, blood, guts, death. You ever heard the term blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne?
I have not heard of that term.
Khorne. The whole idea is that he is all about
Is that teeth on his belly?
the fury and strength of battle. He doesn't care where blood comes from so long as blood is flowing. He wants to fight and murder and carnage and slaughter and death, 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 death. That
I don't
is
know if I like
Khorne.
that.
Very simple to understand. Next up, you have Tzeentch, and Tzeentch is the god of change. However, the god of change, it permeates in so many different other ways. He's the most eldritch of all the demon gods. He has this weird way to always be plucking at the strings of the universe. He's always conniving and scheming and doing his best to cause as much
He's just a mischievous guy.
little bullshit as he can. Tzeentch is unknowable. Everything that makes sense, he will and won't do. Every future and setting and every
he's literally Loki from Armor.
type of
Or Loki from what? The Norse gods?
of destiny or fate is all foretold and also changeable. It is set in stone while also completely random. He knows what everything is going to happen and also that none of it's going to happen. You would ask Tzeentch a question. That question leads to 3 more questions. And those questions lead to
more
the heat
questions.
death of the universe, which asks 4 answers to those questions. And then he thinks to himself, what are questions even really? And are you even asking the questions? Or are you simply giving paths to answers and other horse shit? Tzeentch is just, I'm gonna fuck with stuff. He is yes and he is no. He is the understanding and he is complexity. He is unknowable. And that's what the God of Change is about. Very bizarre. And he likes birds a lot. I don't know why.
Ain't
Next up,
nothing
we
wrong
got
with liking
Papa
birds.
Nurgle. Papa Nurgle, he loves you for who you
Papa
are. Probably
Nurgle.
not. He will murder you just the same. But Papa Nurgle is about rot, pestilence, death, and decay. He is the end of everything. Him and Zeech do not like each other very much because where Zeech represents change and adjustment, Nurgle represents stagnation and death. He is all about miasma,
I don't like
pestilence,
that.
and large bloat and pus and organs and people just being
Ew!
sedentary.
Wait, Nurgle has a hot wife though? How did Nurgle bag that?
Sloth. He is the idea that everything
Genuine
will rot
question.
and decay and die. Nothing is certain besides decay and death. All of us will end up the same way and broken down through just sheer never-ending decomposition. So the joke that Nurgle always loves you is generally because of
He
that.
stole her? He kidnapped her?
Because we all end up the same. We all rot and we all die and wither. That's Nurgle, and he's got a general theme of course,
I would rather die than get kidnapped by this guy.
and different kinds of diseases and sickness and things of that nature. That's generally Nurgle. He's pretty easy to understand as well, and he chunk. Finally, we have the youngest of the Chaos Gods.
I like how it's said.
This Slaanesh, also known as the Prince of Pleasure or the God of Unspeakable Excess.
does
Slaanesh
that mean?
is generally referred to with sex, but it's not only sex, it's just that's a good avenue if you want to make stuff. Slaanesh is just the idea of the senses of the body being cranked to
So
not just
Slaanesh is just an idea.
11, but more like 17. See, we'll discuss Slaanesh a little bit more when we talk about the Eldar, because they done fucked up, but it or whatever is mainly about just the excess of emotions, and therefore sex is generally a large part of it. However, it's mostly pain and torture, lots of pain, torture, but sometimes sexually related or drug related. Lots of drugs. So Slaanesh gets off on everything.
Sex, love, and drugs. What the fuck?
Extremes in happiness, extremes in sadness, extremes in pain and sadism and masochism, and of course that goes along with the sex part of it as well. It's generally referred to with sex because of the color scheme, very purple, lots of exposed genitalia. A lot of their models have like exposed nipples and stuff.
All right, where can I buy some? Where can I buy some?
And that is generally the theme you go for from a physical side, but it really embodies everything, mainly pain and also the excessive amounts of emotion. So when it comes down to it, you'll find a lot of them have things like spikes or whips or any kind of BDSM style gear because it is unspeakable excess.
That's epic.
Of pleasure, everything in excess to the point where it is just sheer frightening. That is Slaanesh in a nutshell. A little bit bizarre and a little hard to describe sometimes, but as we talk more about the Dark Eldar later in this video, you'll understand it far, far better and far more than you'd want to. Now you might be thinking, why would anyone ever want to join Chaos? They all look horrifying, screwed up, and just frightening things, right? Well, the thing is that, of course, one, your mind is put into the warp and the materium, so you can be easily swayed by Chaos demons when
Can we fuck in the warp?
you get into your head, especially if you're a psyker. Sometimes regiments of the less mentally strong people, whether they be civilians or say low-level guardsmen or conscripts, can be easily swayed by this and become chaos cultists and stuff, and they serve their dark gods and whatever god they personally refer. However, and this might seem strange, chaos in their own right isn't necessarily evil.
When you frick, the warp feels it, so it fricks with you. Threesome with the warp.
Warp is every manifestation of emotion and being, every soul, everything of existence. This includes all the good things. All the different chaos gods have another side to their coin. Khorne might be death, murder, slaughter, slaughter, but he's also got this weird sense of survival of the fittest, trial by combat, and honor. Khorne will never lie to you. Khorne will never stab you in the back. Khorne isn't about
he's a real
conniving
one.
And scheming. Khorne is about
at least he's an honest guy.
Straight up, mono, you versus me, get in the ring, we're gonna murder each other hard right now. It may not be a good thing at the end of the day, but it is that other side of the coin. Him and Zeech generally don't get along because Zeech is that conniving schemer, but he's also about the idea of hope. Where there is change for your predicament. There is change for your problem. The hope of the galaxy, the ability to bend the world to your will, the idea that your fate is not set in stone, but in reality that you control your own destiny and can control it whenever you want, the changer of ways. That is Zeech. And of course, Zeech and Nurgle hate each other because while Nurgle does represent stagnation, death, and decay, he also represents finality. An ending. The fact that you can be mentally at peace knowing that you will end and how you will end. Fear of the unknown, fear of change is not present with Nurgle. With Nurgle, everything will rot and die, and that provides that finality, that ability that this is over. We are all the same, and we will all end the same. We know the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to live and die and rot. And with that, it brings peace of mind. Slaanesh is a lot more simple. While they are the excess of emotion, they are also the representation of emotion. Slaanesh embodies happiness. Slaanesh embodies excitement and joy.
You know what? Shout out to Slaanesh.
Not only in the sense of the physical, you know, bam style of pleasure, but also everything else like food and drink and air on your cheek and sunlight, the feeling, emotion and feeling. All of that is also represented with Slaanesh. So you have to ask, why are they always represented as super evil skulls and spikes on everything and want to murder everybody? I don't really got an answer for you on that one.
I don't know.
My assumption is that because mentally humans may think worse thoughts, even if we don't act on them, and therefore they're projected in the warp more. That one's a little bit weird. I don't know. This is me spitballing right now, but I don't know. You need a super bad guy. You already got the Imperium of Man. You need somebody to be a little bit worse than them. So you got demons.
You know what?
Honestly,
That's
who
fair.
cares? I just want to buy like a bird magician. Look at him. So cool. So combining all this together, on the tabletop, Chaos Demons are generally very melee-based. They run in, go really hard. You have lots of summoning and conjuring, tons of spells. Generally a little bit frail, but they have special saves to make them a little bit stronger. You've got giant demons and smaller demons. You got hordes of little boys and tons of big guys. Demons are as they seem. Demons. Nurgle is slow, Khorne is super scary in melee, you've got Zeech who are far more into psychers and spellcasting, and then Slaanesh who is all melee, really fast but squishy, but in lots of hordes of tons of melee and pain damage, of course. So overall, the demons are a huge part of 40k and a massive threat to almost every single faction with the exception of a couple. However, the big part about demons is also transferred into the other 9 Primarchs we didn't talk about, which are the Chaos Space Marines. So Horse and all of his boys,
Space Marines.
all of them in the Primarchs, they have all
not glass
also
cannons,
become
since cannons have range. Oh, I see.
Chaos Boys, and they all have their own special Chaos Legions, specializing in so many different things, just like the Adeptus Astartes, the Angels of Death, the regular Space Marines. Chaos Space Marines aren't a whole lot different than the regular Space Marines. They have the same armor, generally the same training and toughness. They just specialize in different kinds of things. And also a lot of the Primarchs have ascended into greater demons? They're demon Primarchs at this point. Gigantic, horrifying man-demon hybrids that are pretty awesome, if I'm going to be honest. They look really cool. But them and their associated legions
they are pretty cool. It's not for me, though.
Going out there and causing a large ruckus for everyone else. Considering the raw strength and firepower of a legion of Space Marines, imagine that entire legion just converting to chaos and immediately fighting you. It's generally pretty horrifying. There's a lot of them, so I gotta write them down, but you've got the Emperor's Children with Primarch Fulgrim, loyal to Slaanesh. These people, they are some messed up people. They're just sensory overload, tons of drugs, tons of torture, and I think Fulgrim is a demon Primarch right now, and oh god, I am terrified to see what that man looks like, at least on the tabletop, because The Emperor's children are not good people. You got the Iron Warriors, which are kind of like opposite of the Imperial Fists, with Primarch Perturabo, I believe is his name. They're Chaos Undivided. They just kind of serve Chaos in a general aspect instead of choosing one of the four. But the Iron Warriors are big on the siege and fortification, and they're basically entirely against the Imperial Fists and are a major rival. Perturabo, I believe, is also still alive, and I'm also very interested to see what he looks like, because Demon Primarchs are badass. You've got the Night Lords, Primarch Conrad Kurz. Conrad Kurz is dead, which is good because he's a sick fuck. But the Night Lords are generally about terror, terrorizing people, and terrorism. They're generally about fear, and rightly so. You've got the World Eaters with Primarch Angron still alive, also excited to see. Angron, if you think you've known an angry person, Angron is the angriest son of a bitch you will ever know. Angron removed parts of his brain that didn't make him angry, so he could be angrier. Angron. Fucker's mad. You've got the Death Guard with Primarch Mortarion. They actually have their own special codex and their own major army on the tabletop. Mortarion himself is actually one of the models, and look at him.
It just looks like a mesh of everything.
Look at him. It's so cool looking. Of course, Nurgle based, obviously. So very slow, but very tanky. You've got the Word Bearers with Primarch Lorgar. Lorgar is, I believe, still alive. I don't know what's up with him at the current moment, but the Word Bearers are generally the people who caused all the major problems in the beginning. At least I blame them for it. They're little assholes.
Fuck those guys,
the Black Legion with Primarch Horus. Get fucked, nerd. You've got the Alpha Legion with Primarch Alfarius Omegon. Chaos, I think. And then finally, you've got the Thousand Sons with Primarch Magnus the Nerd. The Thousand Sons also have their own book, just like the Death Guard. Magnus is also a tabletop model.
I like this one.
Super cool.
This one is really cool.
As you can tell, and they're all super heavily Psyker and kind of Egyptian themed. They look pretty neat. But overall, with all of these Chaos Space Marine factions, you can play as a lot of different ones, but the main ones that you can really work at are standard Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, as well as the Death Guard and Thousand Sons, as they are the most fleshed out, especially on the tabletop at least. See this right here? This is a really good way to describe the Chaos Space Marines. What the thick-headed fools with their broken corpse of an emperor fail to understand is that not only can they never defeat us, but they cannot hide or flee or shield themselves from the triumph of chaos. They are finite and we are unbound, undivided. They must not err, or they shall fall to heresy. All who fall join our cause. Every imperial fool who dares to open his eyes is a willing recruit. They strive merely to hold back our fury and might, and it consumes them. Thus, you can see chaos is inevitable. We lurk not only beyond their grasp and at their gates, we lurk within the darkness of their souls, on the tip of their tongues, in their tortured dreams. We are them, but freed from the shackles of ignorance. We are them, grown strong, evolved. We are them, but so much more. As hardcore as that quote is, the saddest part is they're mostly right. Chaos is basically unkillable. You could probably get rid of Space Marines a decent amount, the Chaos Space Marines that is, but every soul that dies goes to the warp. Every Chaos soul will end up back in the warp. And depending on how hard you kill them,
all roads lead back to the warp.
They will come back at some point. Every demon you banish will return at some point. Chaos is unstoppable. The warp is unending. And while maybe there is at some point some way to stop them somehow, the resources to do so, the requirements to do so, are so far beyond the reaches of man and the other races at the current moment that really it's just an unstoppable force that just keeps on coming and is just barely being slowed. Chaos is by far the biggest threat. They are without number, their legions are everywhere, and yeah, they're pretty scary. So,
I don't know if I like
I promise, we're done with humans now. Let's talk about some Xenos.
Wow! They look badass!
So let's talk about the Eldar, or also known as the Eldari, which are a super hyper-specialized and very technologically advanced race of, well, elf people. They were, as well, responsible for the creation of Slaanesh, the newest demon god. How'd they do that? Debauchery on a world-ending scale.
Where? Tell me where! place!
Back in the day, it was just Khorne, Tzeentch, and Nurgle. And the Eldar are very, very ancient, millions of years. These Eldar, however, have a bit of a sensory problem. You know, every kind of pain or feeling that you have is a little bit amplified compared to the normal. However, with Eldar, as their race advanced so excessively, and they became so self-reliant, and everything became so easy, there was no requirement for food production anymore, there was no shortages, everything was basically done. Everyone was so comfortable, and that comfort breeded this weird sedation, and that sedation breeded the requirement for more and more debauchery.
Debauchery!
Debauchery! Debauchery!
When
What the fuck?
everything you
What episode of SpongeBob was that from?
have can be so easily acquired, you will end up down this road of pure debauchery. All of the senses the Eldar had that were so powerful, things like feeling, happiness, sadness, and just evil and good, all needed to be satisfied and satiated. And the desire to satiate these senses grew more and more with worse and worse debauchery. It started off with things like sex and drugs becoming so much more rampant because of these are the first things you generally turn to when requirements for living are so easily accessible. It would get to the point that made Sander Cohen in BioShock look sane. All right, this is the kind of debauchery it led to. It was constantly satisfying and satiating these sexual and sadistic or masochistic fantasies that
I don't know. He's low-key kind of selling me this place. He's kind of selling the place to me. I know this is probably a place you don't want to go, but I'm excited. I would love to go.
only elevated and elevated, and this was species wide. People
Yo!
started going down darker, more depraved, and more violent paths as time went on. However, some people didn't
My
entirely
streamer
take
is
to
a
that.
Slanesh worshiper. I'm on my knees for Slanesh to pray and to give head.
Some of the Eldar were looking at this depraved species that they had become and said,
Yes, we do back shots in the water.
no thanks for me, dog, I'm good. And they bailed. These are the Craft World Eldar. They left on these giant continent-sized starships called Craft Worlds. They believed in learning the old ways of the Eldar and pushing away from this depravity and debauchery and going back to their main roots. And so they would segment themselves on these giant craft worlds far in the outer reaches of space. They even had this thing called the Webway. Remember what we mentioned about warp travel with the Imperium? Well, the Eldar had something way safer called a Webway.
What?
And the Eldar Webway is actually like a pocket dimension kind of thing. And in that pocket dimension,
So it's not the warp.
there were also more horrible,
It's not the warp.
depraved groups and clans that would spend their time in there. And if you imagine the debauchery was bad already, these were debauchery X10. So all of this continued, and it bloated until Slanesh just burst forth. All that emotion, all that mental, thought processes, I suppose, all of this in such a condensed space. Don't forget, this is all being shot, all their souls as well, into the warp. All this depravity right into the warp. So what happened?
Depravity in the warp.
Boom, Slanesh was birthed and killed off 90% of the entire Eldar population. Untold trillions had their souls ripped from their bodies and their actual fleshy bodies devoured by Slanesh demons. The entirety of the Eldar race was eaten alive and their souls consumed to the Prince of Pleasure. All of them got fucked up. It was so bad that it
That's
literally
crazy.
ripped a warp hole into the fabric of the materium called the Eye of Terror. That's literally this like quasi horrifying gateway portal from the materium and the immaterium right next to Cadia. And it is horrifying. So this Slanesh, also known as She Who Thirsts,
Horny
by the
on
Eldar,
main!
slaughtered the entire population except
As they should.
for a couple. Those in the craft worlds were actually not affected by this, as they were so far in the reaches of the galaxy. That crazy crack, that birth of Slaanesh, only affected the ones in the center. So these craft world Eldar were able to escape.
So they were fine.
Slaanesh got their sights on them.
Oh,
every time a
Slaanesh wants blood. Or cock. I don't know. Or both.
Eldar will die, their soul doesn't just pass into the warp naturally. It goes straight to Slaanesh, craft world or not. What about those people in the webway? Well, imagine
Souls,
that giant birth happening, but they were only able to just barely get a grasp onto you. Slaanesh was just barely able to hold on. These people are the Dark Eldar, or also known as the Drukhari. The Eldar population right now is so massively small. It is minuscule compared to any of the other most of the other populations in the universe. The Eldar are consistently having issues trying to get their population up, because as their souls are constantly being hungered from Slaanesh, they realize their entire species is doomed. And they understand it very well. Since the time of the fall, our race has been haunted by what we, in our reckless pursuit of hedonistic indulgence, gave birth to. Though our dreams once overturned worlds and quenched suns, we are now but fitful shadows clinging to the edge of existence. All the stars in the sky cannot blot out the hateful glare of the red moon's eye. The birthing place of the great enemy pulses with all the malice of a demon that is dreaming, casting its shadow over all we have ever done and all we ever shall. Every twisted strand of fate and casting of the runes leads me to this time, to this place, and it is clear that the final battle awaits me at the ancient Crone worlds, a conflict the likes of which has not been seen since the Monkai warred amongst themselves and their corpse of a seer fell to his traitorous son. Is coming, and all my steps lead towards it, no matter that I walk other paths. I see the stars stained red with the blood of the Monkai, and though their wars do not concern me, I would gladly let them destroy one another. I know that to avoid this fight is to condemn my race to inevitable doom, and though all I see is darkness, I know that I will not flinch from my destiny. And now let's talk about cute plastic models.
Bro, I'm straight up not having a good time.
The first playable race we have for the Eldar are the Craft World Eldar, and living in those Craft World starships I mentioned earlier. And each of them have their own kind of craft world, almost like a Space Marine Legion. Each craft world is in itself its own special kind of group. And the Eldar themselves are very fast and rely a lot on trickery. They are squishy, a bit weak, but they're very in tune as psychers. Tons of psychers across the entire Eldar population, and their weaponry and abilities are fast and extremely hard hitting, but of course rather fragile. Understanding an Eldar's brain is an exercise in futility. They are all over the place in confusion and trickery on a whole galactic scale. They fight weird, they think weirder, and Eldar in their own right really rely on this to keep their species alive. They need to think about deception and the strangeness of what they do if they truly want to not be immediately murdered and slaughtered wholesale thanks to their entirely small population. However, I must say that it seems like their population is getting slightly better. These craft worlds hold millions upon millions of people, and as they continually, reproduce and have their craft worlds expand, losing a few people in battle, while hurts a lot, they aren't really losing what's extremely precious to them. It's not like every single death means the death of their species. It seems like they're kind of on the upturn a little bit. They're still a doomed race being sucked into Slaanesh every time someone dies, but they are definitely doing a little bit better than they were before. Eldar are fast, cunning, and what they don't make up for in tankiness, they make up for in extremely advanced weaponry. They also call humans Monkai, which is something I mentioned earlier.
Monkai? Monkai is?
That is a derogatory slur for humans.
Oh. Did I just get canceled?
In the Warhammer
I didn't know!
Why is it called Monkai? Well, it's because you can't, in your game, call people monkeys. On the tabletop, exactly what I said. Not very tanky, generally pretty squishy.
I would like to deeply apologize if I offended anybody. I had no idea that that was considered a slur in the Warhammer universe. I don't hate humans! I don't hate humans!
Hit like trucks and move at Mach 5. Fast, hit hard, die fast. Exactly how it sounds. They've been good for a very long time, too. We bring only death and leave only carry-on. It is a message even a human can understand.
Oh yeah, time for me to grab my ukulele.
So,
Voice Critical's next video, the Poseidon situation's crazy.
Drukari. Let's talk about the Dark Eldar.
On today's episode of How Fucked Up Is
Google Docky! Google Docky! What the fuck?
Fucked Up. That's fucked up.
I
So
didn't
those people I
know!
mentioned
That
in
was
the
a slur
webway, the
in
super
Warhammer!
deranged
I just got here. Did Poseidon pull the M word? I had no idea! I was just like, oh, that's he said it! And I just repeated it!
cults.
And then he was like, that's a slur, by the way. I didn't know.
Depraved people of the Eldar. In the webway, they didn't quite
I bet you say clanka with the hard R. Oh my god! It's a British slur. Is it? I had no idea.
get a hold onto them. So that's like has them.
I didn't know that was a Warhammer slur.
Has them on like by the pinky finger. And they're slowly being consumed by Slaanesh, but they found out they can stave her off by doing Slaanesh things. The Dark
What do you
Eldar
mean by that?
are by far the worst, most horrifying,
Oh, also,
disgusting,
Jove Jazz, thank you so much for the 100
and
bits,
brutal
or 200
race
bits.
in
Thank you.
all of Warhammer 40k. These are entirely a group of people whose full purpose to save their species from extinction, to go into planets, raid them, and take as many slaves as they possibly can to torture them for 1, 5, 10, 20, a million years.
What?
Because that torture will keep them from dying. They look very BDSM style too.
Wait,
they
they're
definitely have a
kinda
lot more
hot.
spiky bits and they have a lot more of that kind of leathery black look to them. But let's say you are an upstanding Imperial citizen, living life on a
Just
regular
a normal
planet.
guy.
You get invaded by the Necrons. The Necrons will shoot you with a deatomizer, and you will be destroyed in a millisecond, and that's it. Not the worst way to go. You are invaded by Chaos Marines or something. You take a bolter shot to the head or a chain sword across your stomach, and you get cut in half. Painful, but not the worst. The orcs
What do you mean, prepare
arrive. They
myself?
beat you to death.
Whoa.
Hurts, but, you know, whatever. Tyranids, they eat you alive. It's pretty rough. The Dark Eldar. This is going to get a little graphic. I apologize. You pray
Okay.
you die. You don't. You are instead taken as a human slave. Your life will be endless work and agony, 24/7. They will make sure you can't not die, as your pain satisfies them. They will hook you
What
up
the
to
hell?
all manner of torture devices. They will
John, thank you
inject
so much for the
pain-based,
1,000 bits.
stimuli
Posey, they will
drugs
turn you into a
directly
chair.
your nervous system. They
Well, what if I want? What if I want to be a chair? What if I just want someone to sit on me?
will slowly run razor blades across your skin. They will fillet you and just pull out your teeth and your fingernails one by one.
Not in this way. Wait, what do you mean?
They'll remove your appendages and your skin and wait for it to grow back so they can do it again. They will murder and torture and use the R word, it rhymes with grape, your
Whoa!
entire family in front of you and do the exact same thing to them. You yourself will also be rhymes with grape anywhere and everywhere possible. And this will occur for 20 years until you are no longer satisfying to them. And then you will be contorted, crushed, and twisted into some form of trophy, a fleshy trophy, or a ring, or a couch, or a TV stand, or perhaps a wonderful hat. While
wanna
you
be a
are,
hat.
of course, still alive and breathing.
I still want to be a Dark Elder chair. I think I might pass.
And you will become a moaning, fleshy trophy for eternity. And that is what happens when you are taken by the Dark Eldar. They are the most depraved, most horrifying race in all of 40K. They look the part,
Really?
and they do it so they all don't die. They are literally forced to do this, because if they don't, Slaaneash's grip will get harder, and they will have their souls pulled away.
What the fuck? I'm waiting for someone to scream out, Eldar own a hole.
So long as they keep doing this, Slaanesh is like, you're doing good, man. You're doing solid. You keep that shit up, you elf-eared bastards. That's the Dark Eldar. That's the Drukhari. They are horrible. On the tabletop, they're actually kind of like Eldar, but more extreme. They are even squishier than the Eldar, but they hit generally even harder. Fast attacks, skirmishers, really quick, speedy, like get around them, do a lot of damage, get away kind of stuff. That's most of the Dark Eldar. Look up the definition of Grim Dark in a dictionary. You'll find a picture of the Dark Eldar and Sev from Republic Commando. A quote from Mr. Vecht. We are the lords of despair, masters of terror. Dread and agony are our meat and wine, and they are plentiful indeed.
Amazing.
Dark Eldar. Let's talk about the Harlequins. Clowns.
What's the matter, Andy? Don't you want to have some fun?
The Harlequins are a bizarre race of Eldar.
I don't know how I feel about the Harlequins
clown
already.
Performers. They're
I'm not really big on clowns, if I'm being honest.
Like a weird mix of Sander Cohen from BioShock and Jin from League of Legends, but in a more clown theme. They're artists of death and perfecters of their craft. They do not belong to Craft Worlds or any of the weird Drukhari people. They guard something called the Black Library, which is this giant tome of never-ending knowledge deep in the heart of the Eldar Webway, and also guarded by their god named Kegorok, I believe is how you pronounce his name.
I don't like the way he looks.
God, but it's the Eldar's laughing god, and these are the Harlequins, the Harlequin clowns. These are Eldar clowns. Okay,
they are less bad than the Dark Eldars. Are they really Eldars?
Imagine the things that an Eldar, these depraved individuals, would find funny, and this is the god of that. It's a horror clown. These are gods of horror for us normal people. For them, they're like, oh, it's so funny. They're all dying horribly. Honk, honk. They're very bizarre and difficult to describe. They've escaped the ruinous powers of Slaanesh somehow, but their main thing is guarding that Black Library. And the Harlequins they're demon clown performers. They're barely aiming balls on the tabletop. They're good in melee. They're demon clowns. I'm not sure. I got a quote. It is too easy for an Eldar to embrace the obscene virtues of chaos, for Slaanesh is nothing more than a manifestation of the Eldar mind in its most wild and unconstrained form. Human morality is meaningless to the Eldar, and to the dark side of the Eldar mind, all life is to be expended at a whim. Cruelty and generosity are but the impulse of a moment. Beauty and sensuality are virtues that can be expressed in bloodshed just as easily as in song. To an unfettered Eldar mind, there is neither sanity nor madness, but merely a wave of perfect existence fulfilled by its own savage momentum. They're very strange. Harlequins, Drukhari, Eldar, they are an anomaly that make...
You know, they're not my cup of tea, but I can see how they can be someone else's cup of tea.
Humans seem completely easy to understand in comparison. They range from rekindling their civilization to horrifying
ADHD mixed with murder lust.
Murder, and also clowns.
Basically.
They're all over the place, but honestly, they represent quite well and are rather interesting, especially with the whole Slaanesh murdering everyone bit. So, yeah, Eldar. Now, bugs.
Ma, they following me, Ma. They following me.
Who following you?
The bug.
What is this on
Tyranids. Now,
I don't like bugs, by the way, chat. Bugs are a big no-no for me. I really don't like bugs.
A little more fun, a little more simple than all this crazy Eldar shenanigans. Let's talk the Tyranids. They're bugs. Do they look like Zerg? Hell yeah,
Stop thinking of the 100, by the way. If you want to get into books, don't start with Horus Heresy. I tried the first book first. It's a slog. Cephas, Cain, or Eisenhorn?
Look like Zerg because they were actually supposed to be what Zerg were. Apparently StarCraft was supposed to be a 40k game in the beginning, hence why they look so much like Eldar, Zerg, and the Imperium of Man. Like, kind of Space Marine-y. Those Marines, huh? They look a little bit Space Marine-y to me.
They
Maybe.
kind of do.
I don't know. You really fucked up on that one, Games Workshop, didn't ya? Tyranids are a giant infestation of unfathomable proportions. These are giant, extremely bio-advanced hive mind organisms.
I really don't like that.
That are basically all about absorbing as
I
much
really don't
biomass
like
as they
that,
possibly
actually.
can to evolve and mutate, to be extremely potent and powerful, and kill and eat anything in their path. They are probably the least evil faction in all of 40K because all they want to do is eat shit. They want to nom nom the entire galaxy.
That's real.
They hangry and we food. Also, this Tyranid hive mind has a presence in the warp. In fact, Tyranids in their own right have a massive
Tyranids are just the
presence in
munchies
the
from
warp.
weed
They have a
used
thing
added
called the
to
shadow
bugs.
in the warp specifically, where when they are coming in to invade a planet, they have this weird ability to kind of cut off the warp on all the psychers on that planet. And how do you get help across the stars? Well, you need the warp, because you need that for interstellar travel. So with people unable to call for help from the Tyranids, these are just easy pickings. And an entire giant Tyranid hive fleet comes out of orbit and just will massacre, absorbing all that biomass and turning them and all of their other Tyranids into even more advanced monsters. They come in so many varieties too, all based on what is important. Tiny little ripper swarms for scouting and having little dudes eat people up, to the Hormigons, Termagants, and Gene Stealers, all the way to the Hive Guard and the Exocrines and the Swarm Lord, to Hive Tyrants and their giant battle fleets, and even something as crazy as the Hierophant Bio Titan. The Tyranids come in all forms and sizes depending on what they require. They are extremely good at anti-biological weaponry. There is no way you can plague them or blight them. They have extremely strong armor, carapaces and such. Tyranids are nigh perfect organisms and are pretty spooky when it comes down to how they handle all of their genetic material. Keep feeding them,
really
they'll
like
keep
this at
evolving.
all.
They keep on creating new horrifying organisms to spread across the galaxy. And you want to know what the most terrifying part of the Tyranids is? We might be surrounded. There have been around 6 or 7 Tyranid hive fleets, Behemoth, Kronos, all these different kinds of hive fleets, and they've all arrived in the galaxy from different points. Different sections of the Milky Way galaxy have had different Tyranids come through. And that is horrifying, because as far as we know, we could just be surrounded on all sides by Tyranids. The only reason you may not hear a whole lot about Tyranids is because it's a little bit hard to have a bunch of story off of one hive mind genocidal monsters. All these giant bugs swarming in, killing and eating everybody and evolving.
I don't like that.
I mean, as cool as there are, there's some cool characters, the Swarm Lord, Old One Eye. You can't really have a whole bunch of major character-based stories around them. As awesome as they are, they're simple. They want to eat you. They want to eat you and absorb your biomass. They are simple bugs. If you want something a little more,
you know, if anything, we can relate to the Tyranids. We can relate to them. We gotta eat.
Complex. Talk Gene Stealer cults.
I can have all the pot I want, I get around faster than walking, and wherever I need a seat, I can just sit on my balls.
Gene Stealer cults are a special brand of Tyranid that can slowly infect themselves into different kinds of society. And by infecting them, they can rise up to where they all pray and believe in these regular humans, pray and believe into their Tyranid hive mind gods. And these brood lords and I think they're called patriarchs all can turn an entire world all based into Gene Stealers. And these are called Gene Stealer cults. An entire hive world of the Imperium can be turned into nothing but servants to the Tyranid masters just by infecting them and screwing with their genetic code a little bit. They also have this cool like Mad Max look, which is really neat. They are definitely one of the bigger threats to the Imperium besides Chaos. I keep saying biggest threat to the Imperium. They're up there,
At this point, what is the biggest threat?
Because
everything's a big threat.
You, dingus, stepped on a bug in middle school. asshole. There is a cancer eating at the Imperium. With
Oh my
each
God.
decade, it advances deeper, leaving drained, dead worlds in its wake. This horror, this abomination, has thought and purpose that functions on an unimaginable galactic scale. And all we can do is to try to stop the swarms of bioengineered monsters it unleashes upon us by instinct. We have given the horror a name to salvage our fears. We call it the Tyrannid race. But if it is aware of us, it must know us as nothing but prey. Tyranids, they're cool.
Hell yeah.
But are they as cool as the
Just
orcs?
kidding.
Every screen's
Oh, everybody talks about the orcs.
That means I'm super fast.
Orcs, 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 orcs.
I can tell Bricky really likes orcs.
Orcs. I fucking love orcs. So, yes, the green monsters, the green tide, the green skins.
I'm not a fan with how they look, but you know what? If I can love Shrek, I can love the orcs.
These orcs, they are in fact a race in 40K. The orcs are as exactly what you expect them. They have archaic weapons, they're big boys, they have axes, and they have got big old teeth, and they want to kill everything, and there are so many of them. The only reason they haven't taken over the entire galaxy is they can't stop murdering each other. Orcs are so cool.
They're not fighting against another faction, they're fighting within their faction.
Cool. Orcs don't have philosophy. Orcs don't have existential crisis. What matters is who's the biggest orc. You listen to that guy, because he's the biggest orc. He big.
No, I'm the biggest orc.
Orc, big orc knows best. You win through the power of imagination. Of all the races I have battled throughout the galaxy, the orc is the hardest to comprehend. They wage war with machines that should not work, care little for strategic gains, and are just as likely to slaughter each other as the enemy. How does one battle an enemy that defies all logic? As an orc, you're enjoying life. You're enjoying the life you're given. Your whole life and job and purpose is to get up and beat each other to death because you can. The biggest orc is the man who understands everything. He is the boss. And orcs have this really weird, like, big, dumb, stereotype British accent, which is just hilarious to me. Those are orcs. You fight. You like to fight. Your whole purpose is to fight. You wage war because you want to wage war. You got your boss over there, and you better listen to the boss, because if you don't listen to the boss will squish you and make you an example for the other orcs. And then you can't fight because orc dead. And orc dead can't fight because orc dead. Orcs. They scrap together machines out of parts that don't make any sense, and because they believe, they have the mental imagination that that machine will run, it'll run. If that machine's out of gas, you're driving that machine with your fellow orcs, and the biggest orc is behind the wheel, and you run out of gas, some orc behind you is like, oh, Zog, we're out of gas. And the big orc is like, no, we're not. I filled the fucking gas tank up earlier. And all the other orcs are like, oh yeah, you did do that. And then you turn the fucking mech back on and it works again. Does it have gas? Probably not, but it works through the power of imagination. They paint things red because it makes them think they goes faster. They paint things purple because it's the sneakiest
I love
color.
purple.
You wanna know why?
John, thank you for the 100 bits. Always two out of the space and open a window and let some of that cool space
They're back in the
in.
Eldari time frame. But back then they were called Krorks, and they were much larger and scarier and far more intelligent. Now they're just orcs, and they're big, dumb, and they smack things. But they're
I love that.
pretty spooky. They're not
Thank
very
you
well
again for the
armored, but they
100.
hit really hard. And it's called the Green Tide because there are so many orcs. There are about as many orcs as
You
there
know
are
what? I
Tyranids.
love them. They feel like they're like big, dumb himbos, and I love them.
Maybe more. Who knows? But they keep on, murdering each other, so it's not too bad of an issue. Orcs are entirely comic relief. Their stuff is slapped together. That makes no sense. Their vehicles don't work the way they're supposed to, but they work because they think it works, because they imagine that it works. Orcs care only about who is the biggest orc, and they will follow the biggest orc. And then if they want to be the biggest orc, they'll challenge the biggest orc. And then when they go and they issue a wa is just war in orc, they murder everybody and everything in this giant tide of green orcs who are just excited to be hitting something. They don't care that they're hitting Eldar or the Imperium or Tau or anyone in between. They're just so they get to beat shit up. That's orcs. And on the table
And that's fucking awesome. Wait, those are so funny.
top, they are a total coin flip, and they're really
Are they?
fun. I have never met a salty orc player. I have never met someone who plays orcs and is ever just a bad guy or that guy. Orc players have this kind of fun to them because when you play them, you are completely submitting yourself to RNG. So here's the thing. Guardsmen, Imperial Guardsmen, when they shoot,
Awesome.
they roll a dice, and on a 4 up, they'll hit their target. They have a 50% chance. Space Marines, pretty good. They hit on a 3 or higher because they're well trained. Adeptus Custodians, they hit on 2s because they're just super well trained. Orcs, they hit on a 5 or higher. But if they roll a 6, they get to make another shot with
What?
anything, from the dinkiest pistol to the biggest rocket launcher. It doesn't matter. Half of their stuff will blow up on a whim. One of their medics, if you roll a 1 to heal someone, you fuck up your surgery and you just kill an orc. They're so wacky and silly. But the thing
That
is
is
if you
so
roll
dumb.
well, you roll high, and you keep rolling high, you are going to crush people. And if you don't, you lose. I mean, that's what you get when you play orcs. That's what happens when you play orc. It's a coin flip, which is why you can't be a salty bitch when you play orcs, because things won't go your way. It's just the roll of the dice. You're playing a dice game. But if you're going to have fun and you want to be stupid and you want to be silly, you're going to play some damn orcs. But on the opposite side
I
of
want
the
to play
fun,
orcs now. I want to play orcs. Somebody give me orcs now.
part of this, let's talk about the Necrons.
The Necrons.
The Necrons are spooky, scary skeletons and very grimdark again. They have a much more
They seem pretty cool.
fleshed out lore than before. Back in the day, they were just undead Egyptian space terminators, and they still look that way, but now they actually have a story. So way back in the day, you had the Necron tier. Kind of see a theme here: Eldari, Eldar, Krork, Orc, Necron, Necron tier. So the Necron tier were this race of generally kind of shitty people. Not because they were personally shitty, because their lives were awful. They were ill-fated to a horrible existence of like radiation and a terrible planet they lived on, and everything just really sucked. Being a Necron tier was just really depressing. They really were looking for immortality. They were extremely reliant on the hope that they would eventually find the key to living forever and just stave off this horrible nature that they were thrust upon them, and therefore they could become the most dominant race in the galaxy. And they found this group. They're called the Old Ones. Imagine them kind of like the Forerunners in Halo or the Xel'Naga in StarCraft, right? These Old Ones were these strong, pretty much omnipotent beings, and they, of course, knew the key to immortality. So the Necrons went to them and said, please, show us your ways. And the Old Ones said, piss off. Not really, they were a lot more humble about it, but they did not want to share their secret of immortality with the Necrons. The Necrons, of course, took this very well and waged war with them, kind of under this united banner. The Necron different dynasties didn't really like each other, but under this one man, the Silent King, he thought the best way to unite his race was to do this giant war with the Old Ones out of spite for them keeping the secret of immortality to them. This was known as the War in Heaven, and this is actually like a multi-stage war, because during this war in heaven, they discovered the Star Gods, a whole new race of people known as the Catan, or the Catan. These Star Gods were also very much like Old Ones, almost omnipotent beings, and they too had the key to immortality. And so the Necrons went to them and said, hey, can you help us fight off the Old Ones? Can you help us kill these Old Ones, you, the Catan? And the Catan said yes. And in fact, we can help provide you with the immortality you so desperately seek. So the Silent King of the Necrons decided to make a pact with the Catan to allow them to accept this generous gift of
this guy's kind of cool.
immortality upon them. But this, of course, had been a horrendous trap, and the Necrons were dragged in chains to this biotransference where their flesh was stripped from them, replaced with nothing but a metal hollow shell, as their souls were ripped from their body and fed to the Catan. And the Catan fattened up. They got chonk on the souls of the Necrons. As this was their plan all along, they consumed the flesh and
You know
souls
what? I will give them an A for effort. Good plan.
of the Necron tier and turned them all into unwilling robotic slaves just to serve their will. And then with their new-founded Necron army, they pointed their guns at the old ones, and the Catan continued their domination of the stars and their genocide, complete and full
Didn't read the fine
genocide
print.
of these old ones. The old ones did their best to stave it off. They even
how
created
could
other
they?
races, the Eldari and the Orcs, to try to fight off the horrifying Necron army and the Catan above them. But there was absolutely no possible chance for them. And the old ones were absolutely extinguished across the galaxy. Their entire race completely removed. Full-on 100% genocide. However, during all this, the Catan, so just infatuated with their victory, started fighting each other for fun, for sport, and for small differences, doesn't matter. The Catan, with these overpowered people, they're gonna eventually hit each other at some point. And as they began just menially fighting each other, the Eldari and the Orcs actually started pushing on the Catan's borders a little bit, giving them a little bit of a run for their money. And as this continued, this is when the Silent King, who retained his consciousness, decided to leap into action and start a full-scale revolt against their Catan masters. And this revolt was bloody, as the entire Necron army was surged off to destroy these star gods. They were able to, just after suffering horrendous losses, were able to turn the tide of the war. And they took these Catan and they blasted them. Because as these star gods are unkillable, they were able to break them into thousands of shards and entrap them in giant stasis vaults to now actually be slaves to the Necrons. And with the Necrons having the entirety of their old gods enslaved to them, they realized that soon their race was about to be attacked by the overcoming new races, the Eldari and the Krorks. And so what they did is they retreated.
Yeah, the Necrons are low-key badass.
Giants.
They are their Pokemon. Yeah, they're basically
in order to
Pokemon.
preserve their energy and their strength for when one day they would be reawakened and they would be able to rule the galaxy that was rightfully theirs. And then some dingus Adeptus Mechanicus guy diddled with a green console, and now the Necrons are back and they see all these primitive races on their lawns and they think, get the fuck off of it. The Necrons are back, super advanced, and they are here to reclaim the galaxy that they so rightfully believe is theirs. Now, on a tabletop, they're a lot like that. Tons of undead Egyptian skeleton robots that when they die, they just get right back up because they keep on reanimating. Hard to kill, tons of crazy stuff. You can use the Catan themselves as units to fight with. It's pretty cool. The Necrons are one of the three major events in 40k. The Horus Heresy, the Fall of the Eldar, and the Awakening of the Necrons are all pretty substantial events. And the Necrons themselves are pretty dang cool as well. Here's a good quote from a
That
wonderful
is
Dawn of
pretty
War
sick.
game. Lucky creatures, as long last you have found the tranquility of death. I was like you once, clinging to life and blind to the truth. When I uncovered the truth, I too shuddered and paled with fear. Deep in these catacombs, I was remade. Here, my brethren slumbered for eons while the living grew like weed. My Lord knew this day would come. He had plans for us all. We would purge this world once more. So come, poor victims of life. We will grant you tranquility in these crypts. Kronos will be a tomb world once more. Necrons are also pretty smug. Trazen the Infinite especially, a little dickhead. But speaking of dickheads, last race, let's talk the Tau.
The Tau?
The exact formation of the Tau Empire is not entirely understood. However, a long time ago, many thousands of years ago, in the 40k world that is, some Imperial navigation vessels were going around through different areas, and they saw a primitive race, blue people, smacking each other with sticks and stones. And they thought, nah.
Oh, Tau are new? Are they new?
Xenos race, who gives a shit, and they bailed.
These are the people who have the space bears? No fucking way, really? I want to see the space bears.
Then this giant warp storm occurred right in that major area, unable to be breached. Then, once that warp storm 6,000 years later subsided, hello, those little sticks. Well, they decided to actually have no war of any kind and all just unite together under one flag of the Tau Empire. And now they have gigantic starships and Gundam robots and lasers and railguns and mechs, and they are here to ruin your day for the greater good. That is generally the Tau Empire. They have this kind of feeling of this
Oh, they don't have models on the tabletop? Oh man, what the heck?
Group. All species can go underneath the banner of the greater good. The greater good is their idea of the fundamental increase and help of all. In fact, they are most likely the most like the Covenant in Halo, where they have the overarching prophets, being the ethereals, who are actually kind of dicks and like to pull at strings a little bit, but then you have all these different races directly underneath them, and they all work together in this big group as this large, foreboding race that tries to spread their weirdly pseudo-religious influence across the galaxy. The alien is not intrinsically evil. Do not hate him. Pity him, his ignorance. Seek to understand his differences and equate him with his inadequacies. Only then will he accept his place in the greater good. That is generally the Tau. And if you're kind of wondering like what their mainly big shtick is, well, they're all about big robots and mechs. They have laser rifles and rail guns. They got giant mechs with tons of missile pods and heavy rail rifles and rail guns and burst cannons and ion accelerators and void shields and all this stuff. And that is generally what the Tau's all about. But you're probably thinking, Bricky, this doesn't sound that evil. This doesn't sound very grim, dark Warhammer. And you'd be right. The Tau Empire really don't have that much of a horrifying, grim, dark style like everybody else. They're much more younger, new age thing. In fact, they're probably a lot less evil and a lot even better than they are now back in the day, because they liked having like that good guy faction. But a lot of us the dark, depressing style of Warhammer didn't really like it that much. So see, the Tau,
because they're good guys,
get a lot of hate, and a lot of that hate isn't necessarily unjustified. It's mainly from a tabletop perspective. But as you can see from all the visuals I've shown you recently, they don't really fit in the 40K universe very well. They lack that super dark, dramatic kind of high.
I mean, I guess.
Gothic level the Imperium has. They don't have the weird kind of like grungy stuff that Chaos or say the Orcs do. And the Necrons and the Eldar have their own specific style as well.
They're not good, but they're better than living in the Imperium.
The Tau really do look like something out of Gundam. And while it isn't necessarily a bad thing, it does
I guess I can
definitely
see
not
that,
fit
yeah.
too well. There's that. There's also the tabletop problem. In tabletop, Tau are horrible at melee combat, but exceptionally good at range combat. So they blast everyone from really, really far away, and they have a million rules to make it so that it's nearly impossible for you to get into melee combat. So it basically just forces you to bottleneck the game into one specific gameplay style, which is gun to gun. And if you're doing gun to gun, they're going to win every time, because they're the Tau, and the Tau are really damn good at shooting. So it's one of those things that makes
That's kind of horrifying.
Hated in a lot of different reasons.
Thanks for the stream. Thank you for hanging out.
Both from style and such.
Thank
but
you.
This is actually one of the things I wanted to end this video with, is that the Tau, while they have their issues, you should not be discouraged from playing them. I'll make plenty of Tau weeaboo jokes, of course I will, but it's all generally in good fun. Anyone who legitimately doesn't want you to play a faction is an idiot, and you shouldn't be giving them the time of day. You pick what you think is cool and what you like. In Warhammer, especially now, factions get better and they get worse. They grow and then they fall. You should only be playing what you think is cool. You like the look, you like the models. If you're talking tabletop, that is what you should be going for every time. It's what you think is badass, because things change all the time. But the universe of Warhammer has so much going for it. Every faction has something interesting.
It's so complex. There's just so much going on. There's so much. Each faction has like their own little quirk, which I think is pretty cool.
Every character has a story, and there's a million stories to be told. The universe is vast and exciting, and while it is dark, depressing, and horrible, that is the damn charm. And out of everything I've told you in these 2 videos, is anything you could take away is the reason why so many of us are so into this series and why we like it so much. Because with so much variety, such an expansive universe, and so much that can be done, you can find yourself having a pretty great time. Thank you so much for watching this video.
Cool.
I hope it has been informative to you. If you'd like to see more of me, Bricky, we have twitch.tv/Bricky for my streams. You have my merchandise site, in which I was wearing all of my merch, but underneath this, because I had to wear this so it wasn't black or white for the green screen, which is a little unfortunate, but it's fine. If you'd like to see merch, it is in the description. Also, if you'd like to support me on my Patreon page at patreon.com/Bricky for more videos like this, then that would also be wonderful. So Twitch, merch, Patreon, anything if you want to support, that would be fantastic. I'd appreciate it. If not, I'm just stoked you got all the way to the end of the video, and that is enough for me. So
you're
awesome,
awesome,
more content like
Bricky.
this out in the future. Thank you so much for sticking around this long and being with me through this pretty rough time. That's I think all I got. Also, before I go, let me leave you with my favorite Warhammer quote. He who scoffs at the power of the las gun has never ran through a field of 1,000 of them.
Jesus.
Bye-bye.
That was fun. You know, I think I am still Sisters of Battle stan. However, the town, they're pretty cool. They're pretty sick. They're pretty sick. Anyways, chat, I will be ending stream. I know, we're ending it a little early today. I also have some things I need to do. I have a lot of things I need to do today. So, I will not be streaming tomorrow. I'm gonna remind everybody in the Discord server. If you have not done so yet, please go join my Discord server. That is the best way to know whenever I'm live. If I have any schedule changes, and all this such. So please go join my Discord server. Follow me on all my socials. Poseidon Mythos. Also pick up some cool Poseidon merch, by the way. Go pick up some cool Poseidon merch. It's in the pinned comment. And yeah, she hates us. I'm sorry. I have schoolwork. I have a lot of schoolwork. But I had a lot of fun today. I'm actually down to keep watching more Warhammer stuff. I'm actually so down. But yeah, I will not be streaming tomorrow. I have to take Mother Bria out, but it'll be good. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Smiles. Anyways, I will see you guys. So the next time I'll be streaming is on Saturday morning for the Pokemon event. But I will not count the timer with that event. So the subathon timer will probably be continuing Tuesday. It'll probably be continuing Tuesday next week. So yeah, I will not be available Sunday. It's Super Bowl Sunday. So if anybody is wondering, Poseidon, what team are you rooting for? I don't really watch the Super Bowl. However, I just know my dad doesn't like the Patriots, so I have to go for the team that is against the Patriots. Sorry. Anyways, please don't hate me. I will see you guys on Saturday for Pokemon Legends EA event, Wild Zone Scramble with Royal Arctos for me and you. Okay, I'm gonna go. Bye bye. Take care, everyone. Bye.